more Bridgestone Turanza All-Season 6 tyres and claim your free Kambuka bottle. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Very cold today, but plenty of wintry sunshine for what's left of the afternoon. Snow mainly in coastal areas.
DAB. Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT Drive.
Sportsman afternoon radio, driven by you.
To the motorway of sport.
talkSPORT Drive.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Drive on talkSPORT. It's me, Andy Goldstein, alongside the superstar that is Darren Bent. And by jingo, we got a show for you this afternoon because we are coming to you live from Ali Pali ahead of tonight's PDC World Darts Championship final between Luke Littler and Michael van Gerwen. And of course, on today's show, we'll be joined by both finalists. We'll also look ahead to a huge weekend of football, including a massive game for Ange Postecoglou against Newcastle at 12:30. That's on talkSPORT tomorrow. Man United head to Anfield in a massive game this Sunday. So we'll hear from both managers ahead of that one. And of course, we'll be joined by a British comedy superstar royalty right here at Ali Pali. The wonderful Michael McIntyre will be joining me and Bentley on today's show. All that and so much more. So there's only one place to start. Here's a reminder of how both men booked their place in the final live on talkSPORT last night.
To do what you love to do the most in this part of the tournament is always nice.
Straight away, Michael van Gerwen is looking for a maximum and starts as he wants to go on.
Dobie's top corner of the 60 with another one in.
Bullseye! Hello! Sometimes you need something to galvanise you in a big match, especially the biggest one of your life. There it is! Michael van Gerwen makes light work of Chris Dobie in the end. Hollywood could only take a set of the three-time world champion.
Littler for 158 to hold through. Start of set 3, leads 2-0, hits the treble. And again, double 19 for the 158. Right on cue. He never misses double 10. Tops for a second successive PDC World Final. And Luke Littler delivers a 6-1 demolition of Stephen Bunting. The pyrotechnics go off here at the Alexandra Palace. We are witnessing sporting brilliance. 17 years of age.
Yes, Luke Littler and mighty Michael van Gerwen set up a blockbuster World Darts final with semi-final wins last night. Of course, live on talkSPORT in the night's first game, MVG comfortably dispatched Chris Dobie 6-1, and Littler joined him in the final by beating Stephen Bunting by the same scoreline. Both men spoke to talkSPORT after the game. In a minute, we'll hear from the Nuke, but first, this is MVG. He was asked how much it meant to him to reach yet another world final.
To do what you love to do the most in this part of the tournament is always nice. Up to the final now, and yeah, that feels amazing. As long as you feel cool, like I'm doing at the moment, anything is possible. And I won this game. Of course, it looked easy, but I still, what you said, I had to find my gears at the right moments, and I'm glad I did.
Can't believe I've done it. But then again, I've got to think about my performances, which is leading up to the final tomorrow. They've been excellent, and I'm really happy with the way I'm playing. This is the main one they wanted to see as soon as Luke went out. But as soon as Luke went out, all the focus was on me. But you've got to see who Michael's got past. He's been through some tough challenges, and so have I. But this is probably the hardest game to win. And then tomorrow we just not kind of relax, but we just let them go.
Cute.
Yes, we have got a mouth-watering prospect in store ahead of tonight's final. And, of course, we're building up to live commentary of that final. Darren Bent alongside me. Before we talk about the final, Benny, good to see you.
Right.
We should set the scene because we are back at Ali Pali. It is Baltic, I think it's fair to say, if you're watching on YouTube. And you should, if ever you haven't watched on YouTube, today's the day you should, because we're going to have lots of things for you to watch. Of course, if you're listening on the radio, you'll hear them just as well. But, yes, you find us in, I think it's fair to say, the food court, the food hall here at Ali Pali. This is where everyone goes, either before the players get onto the hockey or maybe for just a bit of food after. Of course, the matches are finished. There's only one match tonight. But it's very cold in here where we are.
Freezing. I mean, I've got a big jacket over there.
Yeah.
I was going to throw it on, but I feel okay. My nose is a bit runny.
Yeah,
but
mine's. You'll hear that quite a lot.
Quite
over
a
the
few
next
times.
day.
But no,
Yeah.
I think I'll go too far if I put another layer on. I've got a jacket on already. To go in again, because I was working earlier, working my ass off, as Joe said I could say. He said I could say it.
I don't think he said that.
No, I'm blaming Joe for that.
Okay,
so I was obviously had to do that skywalk at Spurs Stadium, and it's freezing at the top.
Is it high up? I know it is, but is it high up when you're up there?
It's high, but the only part that I was a little bit
scared.
Yeah, not scared.
Nervous.
Yeah, nervous. Was when you go near the cockerel and it's overlooking the pitch.
Yeah.
That's the only bit I was a bit like, and it was a bit windy then, and it rattled a bit. I was a bit, but other than that,
How big's a cockerel?
Yeah, huge.
Massive.
It's got a massive. Do you know what? It's got a huge dent in it.
Yeah.
Apparently from
Gaza playing golf.
That's that story finished.
Yeah. Well, I think it was finished years ago when it came out. But we are here at Ali Pali. We're in the food hall bit, and we're going to have loads of great guests. If you are watching on the YouTube, you can see we have a replica of the trophy behind. Have you tried to pick it up? It's the same weight.
Yeah.
You tried to pick it up?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
What, today?
Yeah.
It's very heavy.
It's beautiful.
And we've got the dartboard behind, and of course we have a dartboard on the hockey on the stage. Now, we went up there. We were invited by the very kind people at the PDC to go up on the stage and throw a few darts. Benty and I played a 3-1.
Yeah, you beat me.
I got check out of the decade.
Yeah.
What was it, 79, something like that?
Yeah, I'm telling you,
3 darts, bang, bang, bang.
Jason and Brighton's raging with that.
Good,
but
you should.
Do you know what? I probably had the highlight moment. I could have stole the thunder.
One and only time Benty stepped up onto the stage. Well, this year, last year we did it. First dart, treble 20. Second dart, treble 20. 1.
Yeah, do you know what? Honestly, I think if I'd have just kept going, but I can't hold it together. Like, if I'd have just threw, I probably would have got it.
Yeah.
But I took a slight pause, got all excited, and that's
I really wanted you to do it.
Yeah, I would have jumped off the stage.
Yeah,
I know how I just ran and jumped off it.
Well, listen, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of 180s tonight because throughout the course of this year's PDC World Darts Championship, Luke Littler has got 64 so far. Michael van Gerwen has got 43. Last night's semi-finals, they were exciting if you're a fan of MVG and Littler, but they weren't really tested, either of them. We spoke to Dance beforehand and we were both thinking that both players that got to the final will get to the final, but it may be a little bit more difficult, 6-4, 6-3, but in the end, they literally broke sweat, did they, either player?
I was gutted, certainly for Stephen Bunting, because I know he's a man of the people. Like, I think he's probably most people's second favourite player, Stephen Bunting. Like, the walk-on was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
But I just think that the scoring power of Littler, that's where I'm interested to see how tonight goes, because if you look at the way Van Gerwen dealt with Callum Ridds, he's a 180, bang, throws him out there, and he dealt with it pretty comfortably in the end. I just think with Littler, MVG's going to have to put in that level of performance, because Littler, as you said, there's 64 180s. He's going to have to try and stay with him, and it's going to be difficult, but I think Littler will win. But I just think maybe experience from Van Gerwen, not to get phased by the moment.
I just wonder, when you look at the route to the final for both of these players, Luke Littler's the only one that's been tested really out the two. That was against Ryan Joyce 3 rounds ago, 4-3, went to the final set. They've both lost 8 sets, ironically, to get this far. Do you think that comes into it when you get to a final? Because it's a long couple of weeks there for you. You've got that break over Christmas and New Year as well, so you do have a little bit of time off. But do you think when a player gets to a final, they'll look back at their route to it and they'll either be drained from it or a little bit fresher or not?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's even in football in terms, you go back and look through the tournament where your performances were, but you find yourself in the final for a reason, and that's because they've been the 2 best players. So yeah, I mean, I think once you get to this moment, I think you can only nitpick only a little bit. I don't think you can go, oh my God, what I did in that game there, because different occasions, it depends on how your opponent was playing as well. Did you have to dig deep to find something as well? So they'll probably look back and maybe slightly and go, right, I could have done better in that game, made that one a bit more comfortable, so I can't make that mistake tonight. But I think it just comes down to tonight. I think who can hold their nerve the most.
Yeah.
Now, I think because MVG's 3-time world champion, you'd go, yeah, he would probably feel more comfortable in this surrounding. But Littler was only here 12 months ago. So he's been there, he tasted defeat. He's probably thinking, I don't want that again. I don't need that again.
Who's under more pressure to win? And the reason I say, you think so?
Yeah, and the reason why I say not Littler yet, he's only 17. He's got
that's a very good point.
But I do think if he gets to 18, 19, and he still hasn't, say he goes another 7 years, I don't know why I've put 7 out, but 7 years, and he hasn't won one, but he's still playing as well as he is, then I think the pressure will start to ramp. We'll go, well, when are you going to win one?
I'm not comparing darts to snooker, but I am comparing 2 naturally gifted sports people in Luke Littler and Jimmy White. And when Jimmy White was incredibly young, got to his first world final, lost to Steve Davis, and he's told me since, he thought, you know what, it doesn't matter because I've got so many more ahead of me. I just wonder if that's the right mindset. I know you're right with what you say about Luke Littler. He has got loads more touchwood finals to come.
Get that first one.
You've got to get that first final out the way, right?
I do.
Or that win, I should say, the first win
I
out
wouldn't
the way.
say I'm worried, but I do think if he was to win tonight, He's 17 years old.
Yeah.
I do fear for the rest of darts, because once he gets one and he gets that confidence, because he's confident anyway, once you get that almost monkey off your back where I've got the one, all of a sudden there's like a steam train. Does he go and win next year? The year, do you know what I mean? It becomes a, oh, here we go again.
Yeah. With the way Michael van Gerwen plays and Luke Littler, I fancy Littler to win this. My only worry would be, if I was Luke Littler and a Luke Littler fan, if he starts to fall behind. I think if he starts to lead Van Gerwen's got it in his game to come back.
Yeah.
If Littler goes 2 or 3, we saw it last year in the final, of course, against Humphries, where he steamrolled him. That would be my only concern if I was a Luke Littler fan, if he starts to go behind by maybe 2 or 3 sets against Van Gerwen.
But if you can remember last year as well, it was one mistake that Littler made, didn't he? Because he hit the wrong number and he couldn't work out what he was supposed to do. And from that, he never recovered. I think that him being here last year, I genuinely think he'll be thinking, all right, I know what to expect. And again, I'll be interested to see how the crowd are in there tonight, because, again, last night, Littler's up against Bunting. Both of them, crowd love absolutely both of them.
Yeah.
Tonight, again, they love Van Gerwen, they love Littler. I do sense maybe there's more Littler fans because they want him to do it, and him being English as well, they want him to do it. But I think that would be quite pivotal as well.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to see some magic tonight? Everyone's desperate for another 9-darter. We saw a 170 from Littler last night. It's always great to see 2 trebles and then finishing off the leg with a bullseye. We're going to see a bit of magic tonight, a 9-dart, do you think?
I hope so. I'd love to. Obviously, my first experience here as well. I'm desperate to see a 9-darter.
We should explain to people what you're talking about, because last year we came here, we were here 12 months ago, and it was Luke Littler's first ever PDC World Darts Championship final. He was playing Luke Humphries.
And Humphries' first one.
First one, yeah, of course. And we did the show. And you weren't necessarily a fan of darts, and we finished. Good night, everyone. 7 o'clock, bomb. You got in your car and you went home.
Sprinted home.
I stayed here. A couple of the boys stayed. We watched the final because I come here I've been here every year for the last 10, 11, whatever years. From that moment, you went home. You watched it on the box. You got hooked. You got a dartboard at home. You play every night. You played, of course. Well, some people would argue you didn't play in the talkSPORT World Darts.
No, never did you, but
Championship. You got smashed to pieces against Natalie Sir. But from that moment to where we are, 12 months, you have literally just eat, breathed, and slept darts. Everything. And now you're going to stay tonight, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've been trying to claim everything that's in this building as well.
Yeah, you've nicked so much. Can I just tell you, he's actually going around, this is true, nicking ockies.
No, not nicking
ockies. There's a piece of wood on the floor, and he actually said, I'm moving that. I love that.
I need that. But you know as well, someone just said this is not the real one.
No, of course it's not. You're pointing to the replica world
trophy.
trophy.
Is that available to...
I can get it under my coat.
We could take that for the talkSPORT trophy. Imagine that.
Now, you're not happy with the one that's 1.5 inches tall?
You're not.
There's a doorstop? I'm not.
If this is available, you never know.
We could.
You ask the right person, you get that.
Yeah, we could. We don't need to ask. We'll stick that in your bag. We'll easily take that home. We are very excited about it, because not only are we building up to live coverage of the PDC World Darts Championship final, but we will have, in this hour, I'm led to believe, and I'm looking at my producer Joe, he's giving me the thumbs up, in this hour, Luke Littler and Michael van Gerwen will be joining you and me and the listening millions around the world live on Drive. So stick around for that. You are listening to Drive on talkSPORT. We're live from Ali Pali, ahead of the PDC World Darts Championship final with Village Hotels. Visit villagehotels.com.
talkSPORT traffic.
In Warwickshire, the M40 southbound is still shut after a lorry caught fire. It's closed from junction 16 at Henley and Arden along to junction 15 for Warwick. In Lincolnshire at Grantham, the A1 is shut southbound after a collision earlier. That's closed between the A52 turn-off and Grantham South. And in Hertfordshire, 40 minutes of queues on the anti-clockwise M25 with 2 lanes are shut for barrier repairs near junction 23 for the A1M. I'm Adam Moore.
Monday night is game night. The goals are calling.
Oh my goodness!
Exclusive full match commentary of Wolves versus Nottingham Forest.
A punishing finish.
Kick-off 8 p.m. on talkSPORT.
You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. We're live from Ali Pali, ahead of the PDC World Darts Championship final with me, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. We're not in the final, by the way. This is our show on Motorpoint. Check out hundreds of nearly new Audis, BMWs and Kias online in store now. Still to come, we'll be joined by both of those finalists, Michael van Gerwen and Luke Littler will be joining us in the next hour. I think it's a little bit less, but I don't want to give too much away. And that's, of course, before they step onto the stage, onto the hockey. Roundabout, I don't know if I can tell you, but I'm going to tell you, we're friends. About 8:15 is their walkouts. Just quickly, Marcus Rashford has reportedly rejected 3 bids from clubs in Saudi worth up to £35 million a year. Thomas Tuchel is set to watch his first round of club fixtures as England head coach this week, starting with Tottenham's match at home to Newcastle. He needn't bother because it's live on talkSPORT tomorrow. He could have sat home. And the Spurs boss, Ange Postecoglou, has been speaking to the media ahead of that game and reflected on the year just gone.
Right now, people don't recognise as anything, but we finished 5th last year. We finished 8th the year before. People keep forgetting that I didn't pick up a club that finished 3rd and we finished 5th. So even though, the back end of last year was a struggle for us, it was still, I thought, a real positive season on the back of what we had to do in terms of player turnover. We lost some significant players.
Now, Tottenham have won just 2 of their last 10 games in all comps. They've come into this game 11th in the Premier League. Meanwhile, Newcastle won their last 5 games in a row in all comps. Benny, let's start with Spurs. They are at home, of course, for this one. But do you still make Newcastle favourites? Because when Man United played them last weekend, we talked about how great they're, not just their midfielders, but their attacking options out wide as well. They're sort of front 6, if you like. I think he's fantastic. I think that's and Tottenham have got so many injury worries. There is talk at the moment on social media, I don't know how true it is, that they couldn't even field a known back 5 at the moment. So real problem for Spurs, real big game this one for them tomorrow.
Yeah, it is, and they'll know that a lot of people have probably written them off in this fixture because Newcastle have looked sensational the last month or so, getting results, and Tottenham have been a bit inconsistency. Obviously, they drew with Wolves 2-2. They got beat by Forest. There's no disrespect to losing to Forest. They're flying. They lost to Liverpool 6-3. It can happen. But they've just got to find a way of doing it now. They have to. You can't keep the excuses now. You've got to. Everyone's had to deal with injuries. Andrew's talking about it now. It sounded a bit ratty in that little bit of audio when he said, well, I didn't take a club from 8th to 5th. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it was a little bit. I thought, come on, Andrew. Like, we understand that you're under a little bit of pressure, but Spurs now. He's almost now been forced into the situation where he can't just sit back and go, I have to change the way we play now. He's been so vocal about, this is the way we're going to play. Yeah. If people don't like it, this is what we're going to do. And the injuries have piled up and he still continues to play the same way. He's going to have to keep doing it. But in my head, I've got a mad scoreline, 3-3. I know
Why have you got that?
Because, everyone would expect Newcastle to turn up and roll Spurs over because that's the way they've been playing. But a couple of, I can't remember how many weeks ago it was, West Ham rocked up, who couldn't win a game, rocked up to St James's Park and won 2-0.
I know, but that was an anomaly.
Why can't this one be?
I know, but because Spurs are decimated at the moment. Newcastle flying high.
West Ham had no.
You're right. It does happen. You do get freak results, but you just saw what Spurs were like throwing take against Liverpool. I know they scored 3 goals, but they conceded 6.
Yeah.
And they haven't got back 5. I mean, we shouldn't underestimate that. I know, everyone's very quick to go, oh, yeah, but we've got injury problems. I get that. That's absolutely fine. But Spurs have them.
Yeah,
and they are massive.
And that's where you've got to be able to adapt. But they haven't done that up until this point. So you've got to just keep going and keep trying to get results. But, I mean, I'm probably being a bit, not facetious, but I just think 3-3 just feels in my head the right scoreline, although Newcastle are flying. But it's a big period for Ange, really big period, because I do wonder now, all of a sudden, I know the obvious answer is, yeah, get back in the Champions League. But realistically, when you look at the teams that are at the top end of the table, where should Spurs be finishing? I know the aim, just as Manchester United would be, get back in the Champions League. You've got to be realistic. Where can they finish Spurs this season now? If they finish 8th, is that good enough? They finished 5th last year, which does go under the radar. But you go, 8th, is that good enough? 10th with the injuries they've had? It'd be interesting. If they win a cup, I wouldn't say their finishing position is irrelevant.
It's a free pass for another season.
But yes, if you win a cup, the Spurs fans will be so made up with that trophy. And flip that, I think Newcastle fans would take pretty much any finish to win a trophy.
Yeah, you're right. A trophy for both clubs is absolutely massive. How big is this game for Ange Postecoglou? Spurs do get tonked at home, and there's every chance that might happen.
Yeah,
right?
It's still a big game, but I don't think it's any bigger than the games they've been in before. They're just in really bad form. He's got to find a way of turning that around.
Can he go? If it's a 5 or 6 0, if we come in Monday and we're talking about Newcastle winning 6-1,
I wouldn't. I'd stick with him.
Okay.
Because what do they do again?
No, I agree with you.
It just feels like at the minute every easy answer for most clubs that are struggling is sack the manager.
Yeah.
At some point you have to stick with the manager.
Yeah,
and go,
you're right.
You didn't want Conte, you didn't want Jose, you didn't want Nuno. At some point you're gonna have to go. You can't go. We don't want Ange, because what happens then?
Yeah, then where do they go? You're right. Newcastle winger Jacob Murphy has been speaking to talkSPORT ahead of the game. He was asked whether his teammate Alexander Isak is one of the best strikers in the Premier League.
He's got to be in the conversation for sure. Super talent. You know, not only has he got a wonderful scoring ability to be able to finish, you know, magnificently in tight areas, or, you know, when he's given a bit more space, he can still lash it into the top corner. So he's got that, but then his overall play, the way he connects the units, he's doing brilliant at the moment. Keep growing, keep learning, and, you know, he'll actually get a lot better than he already is.
Listen, all these boys are so well trained in the media. When you ask a question like that, it's only going to be positive. But I sort of agree with a lot of what Jacob Murphy was saying there. How highly do you rate Alexander Isak at the moment?
Yeah, top draw. Top. I think he's the best all-round centre-forward in the Premier League. I mean, he would be my team in the season so far. I know you can make an argument for Haaland, the numbers. Chris would certainly at Nottingham Forest flying. But I just think when he's...
Not putting Kai Havertz in there?
No, I should put, who's your centre forward?
I'm asking you.
No, but who's your centre forward again? I can't. Is it Xerxes?
Yeah, Xerxes, yeah.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Rashford, is it? Oh.
Xerxes is good, mate. For a rugby match breaks out.
But no, I think for Alexander Isak, his all-round play, getting them behind, his pace.
I love how you just come straight back to Man United. Look, we're in
you
the gutter at the moment,
Why
right?
did you come at Arsenal?
I'm just asking about Kai Havertz.
So, anyway. But no, I think he's got best. Like, his finishing, his touch, all-round is strong. He just fits that mould of being a proper centre forward. And for Newcastle, my only worry with Newcastle moving forward about the likes of Gomeres, Tonali, Joe Linton, Alexander Isak, is that how long are these players prepared to play without Champions League football? Because every single one of those players I've mentioned should be playing in the Champions League. At some point, they're going to go, I understand we're fantastic finishing 7th or 6th, but I want to be in the Champions League, and that's where the difficulty might happen.
Yeah, so it's about Arsenal players. Still to come, we'll be joined...
We're in it. Are you in it?
I thought you meant winning.
Championship.
Huh? Might be in that soon. Still to come, we'll be joined live by both Michael Van Gerwen and Luke Littler ahead of tonight's PDC World Darts Championship final. It's live on talkSPORT. They should be joining us in the next 45 minutes, so definitely stay where you are. First, it's time for No Googling, the first of 3. What a darts question this is. Now, you haven't got the answer in front of you, right? I don't think you will. What is the least frequently hit segment on a dartboard? So imagine the dartboard, but not the outside bit where it's 0, right? Because that would only, in fact, that wouldn't count anyway, but with us it would. So I include everything. Every single part of a dartboard. What bit is used the least? I'm including all singles, all doubles, all trebles, out ball and in ball. All right? Okay? It's a part of one number. Do you understand the question?
Yeah. It's
a part of one number.
All right.
For argument's sake, treble 20, but that's probably the most used.
Okay, cool.
So it's the opposite end of that scale.
All right.
The answer to that, in this hour, Michael Van Gerwen and Luke Littler will be joining us live on Drive on talkSPORT. Excuse me, stay where you are.
on 1089 and 1053 medium wave.
Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT. talkSPORT. News.
Good afternoon. With your headlines, I'm Sinead Garvan. 2 amber weather warnings are in place for large parts of the country, which means heavy snow and freezing rain over the weekend. The Met Office say disruption on roads and railways likely, as are power cuts. And we're being urged to check on elderly relatives and neighbours. Paul Farmer is the head of Age UK.
Our message to older people is don't hesitate to turn the heating up over the next few days. And if you are worried about the financial impact of that, then please do get in touch with us, because we understand that energy companies and others are ready to provide support and help.
Meanwhile, police are looking at whether icy conditions played a role in a crash that killed a 7-month-old boy. The car he was in collided with a tree on the A1 last night. Flu cases have quadrupled in England, with NHS bosses calling it very concerning. Nearly 5,000 people were in hospital with the virus on Sunday. Roy Lilly is a former NHS Trust chairman.
On top of the flu, we've had novavirus, we've had RSV, which is another respiratory virus, and of course we've still got COVID. So the NHS was already chock-a-block by about the second half of November, which is really very unusual.
The UK's first drug consumption room is to open in Glasgow later this month. The controversial facility allows users to inject drugs under supervision to prevent accidental overdoses.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you need a professional grade sealant with high mold resistance, easy tooling and minimal shrinkage, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
One more year for Harry Maguire at Old Trafford, and Chelsea slapped with an FA charge for surrounding a match official during the Ipswich defeat. Ben's back at 5.
Tomorrow, game day is go. A massive day crammed full of high-octane Premier League drama featuring 2 exclusive games.
What a winner!
Spurs versus Newcastle. Kick-off 12:30 on talkSPORT.
Fantastic finish!
Manchester City versus West Ham. Kick-off 3 p.m. on talkSPORT 2.
Oh my word!
100% total football each and every weekend. Game day on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2.
In about 5 minutes' time. And MVG, Michael Van Gerwen, Mighty Mike. Before the break, I asked a great question. What is the least frequently hit segment on a dartboard? This is for pros, not us. That includes all singles, doubles and trebles. You got it in the break. It's treble 6.
Yeah.
How many times every 15,000 darts do you think it's hit?
No idea.
You've got the answer once.
Is it?
And the reason for that, it says it's got no functional use. You could just hit 18 instead of it.
I mean, for the pros, I often end up at 6.
Yeah, and then we accidentally hit the treble as well, so we use it loads of times. Still to come, we'll be discussing Mohamed Salah, who has been speaking to our friends at Sky Sports today and was asked about his aims this season.
It's my last year in the club, so you want to do something special for the city. That wasn't the thing in my head.
Oh, that was a little bit, sorry. I thought we had more than that. That was a little bit. Thanks to our friends at Sky Sports for that, for sending that down the email chain. Listen, we'll talk in more detail about Mohamed Salah, but when you hear a quote like that, it's never as obvious as a quote sounds, right? There's usually an ulterior motive behind a player coming out. Yeah. Sometimes he's got his agent to post stuff. Sometimes he's gone up to someone that works in the press and said, I just need 5 minutes of your time. It does work both ways. Yeah. When you hear something like that from Mohamed Salah, what does that initially tell you?
I still stand by it. I just think he's desperate to stay. I don't get the sense of someone that's saying to themselves, I'm desperate to get out of here. He wants to stay. He's almost trying to go with the Liverpool hierarchy to give him what he wants, the years that he wants. I don't think it comes down to money. I think it's more the length of contract that he wants. But that doesn't, to me, scream like someone who's just like, yeah, I'm out of here. Do you know what I mean? He wants to stay, but for whatever reason, Liverpool must be a little bit hesitant in giving him what he wants. So I'd love to see him stay. He's one of the best out there, if not the best in the world right now. He's certainly the best, in my opinion, in Premier League history in that position. And it'd be a shame for the Premier League to leave someone who's still at the absolute maximum of their ability to just walk out the Premier League like that.
Do you think he has more chance of getting what he wants at Liverpool if other big-name players, for argument's sake, Trent, leaves? I.e., there's more money left in the pot.
Maybe, but again, I don't think it's the money. I think it's more length of years, and maybe they're just reluctant, although he looks like he's in great nick, maybe reluctant to give him let's say he wants a 3-year extension, and they're like, well, we'll give you 2+1 with an option. He'd probably be like, no, I want the solid 3. Who knows? But as I said, it'd be a real shame. And for Liverpool fans as well, he's been brilliant, hasn't he? I mean, there's an argument now. The conversation is now, is he a better Premier League player than Steven Gerrard? That's now the argument.
Yeah. Well, we spoke to Danny Murphy about that. He said no.
Yeah.
But it's close, right? It's always about whether or not your name's in that conversation.
Exactly, it must be. He's been fantastic, so I hope it gets resolved, but at the minute it doesn't look like it's going to get resolved anytime soon.
You've got, when you make a business deal, and I'm led to believe this, I haven't made too many myself, but you have to make it, this is going to break, you have to make that decision with your head, not your heart.
Yeah.
I just wonder if Liverpool are going to lose someone like Trent, and the Van Dijk thing's up in the air, if maybe their arms are a little bit tired as to decisions they have to make. They can't be seen to let 3 of their biggest and greatest ever players leave in the same window, can they?
Yeah, and again, and then you've got Alisson, the goalkeeper, come up next year. Although that one might be a little bit easier because Kelleher's still there and you've got Mamardashvili coming in.
Yeah.
So maybe that situation isn't as drastic as the one we find ourselves in now.
Well, I suppose in that scenario, it's a good point you make, that they don't hold all the cards and neither does the goalkeeper.
No.
It's sort of 50-50, but in this case...
The players have got all the power.
They've got all the power.
I think Virgil will stay. I mean, there's been no... Trent, the more I look at it, I think he's probably going to go. I just feel that the conversations that I've heard, the way that the kind of body language that he's kind of suggesting, everything points to me that he is someone who's made his mind up and wants to go to Real Madrid, and fair play to him, he's been fantastic.
Do you think that Trent gets a little bit more stick than perhaps Virgil or even Salah?
Yeah, because he's one of their own. That hurts that little bit more. You can't hide the fact Virgil came from Southampton. They bought who's the other one he's up for? Salah from Fiorentina or Roma.
Yeah.
So it's one of them where there was no real connection to the club until they got there. Trent was from a little boy. He's a Scouser himself. He's grew up in the area. He's been at Liverpool his whole life. I think kids in that area identify themselves with the likes of Trent, with Saka at Arsenal, with Marcus Rashford at Manchester United. So you always get that little bit more time if you're going for a bit of a bad spell.
Yeah.
So, but when you do decide to leave, like Grealish at Villa, there'll be certain supporters out there that will never ever forgive Jack Grealish for leaving Aston Villa, even to go and better himself at Manchester City. Trent will be the same. We've had callers on, people going, "I'll never forgive him. It's disgraceful."
Yeah.
He's not going to Everton. He's going to Real Madrid. So,
yeah.
Unfortunately, in that scenario, you're never ever going to be able to appease everybody.
Does it make the fans' view easier? Does it make the player's decision easier if that player leaves at the end of a very, very successful season? If Liverpool, for argument's sake, were to win the Premier League and the Champions League, and Salah goes, or Trent goes, do you think the players go, do you know what, they've given us a season we can never forget, it goes with our blessing?
Potentially. I still think there'll be some with Trent that will go no, because he's one of their own. But I think for certainly Salah, if he was to go at the end of the season and Liverpool win the Champions League and the Premier League and the League Cup, for instance, I think not every, but still, I think the majority of Liverpool fans will go, do you know what? For your time at Liverpool, you're a 10 out of 10. You won us all the trophies you did, all the goals you scored, all the records you broke. You gave us absolutely everything. That's all we can ask for.
Earlier on, we broke the news that supposedly Marcus Rashford has turned down 2 or 3 bids from Saudi football to go out and earn round about £35 million a year.
Yeah.
Does that surprise you that he's turned it down? Does that tell you that he's still got ambitions to play at the highest level? What does that tell you when you hear that?
Might be a little bit of both. There might be a little bit of ambition that he's thinking I'm too young to go to Saudi, but also it might be a little bit of a PR stunt, because you think, what message does that send out? He's 27 years old, going to Saudi. That would send the message to me that okay, he's done. He doesn't want to play anymore. Because then if he's only 27, how does he come back from that?
You can't, right?
You can't,
and
that's where I think is a little bit of a PR stunt.
Okay. We're going to put a handbrake on football chat just for the time being. We're going to have a quick break. When we come back, we are going to be speaking to one of the 2 finalists ahead of this year's PDC World Darts Championship final. It's live on talkSPORT tonight. Build-up begins from 7. We'll be taking you all the way to 7 o'clock. Michael van Gerwen will be joining us a bit later on in today's show, but when we come back, a player that knows exactly what it's like to stand on the stage on finals night, but yet to be crowned champion. Luke Littler will be joining myself and Darren Bent live on Drive on talkSPORT right after this.
talkSPORT traffic.
In Warwickshire, the M40 is still closed southbound after a lorry caught fire between junction 16 at Henley and Arden and 15 for Warwick. In Lincolnshire at Grantham, the A1 is closed southbound after a collision, shut from the A52 down to the Grantham South turn-off. In Hertfordshire, 30 minutes of queues on the M25 anti-clockwise, where 2 lanes are shut for barrier repairs. They're just before junction 23 for the A1M. I'm Adam Moore.
Saturday afternoon, live championship football on talkSPORT 2.
And it's gone straight in! Triple filtered freeze-dried commentary. Blackburn Rovers versus Burnley.
He's done it again!
Coverage from 12 noon, kick-off 12:30.
A moment of magic!
Saturday afternoon on fan-fueled live football phenomenon.
talkSPORT 2.
Welcome back. You're listening to Drive on talkSPORT. We're live from Ali Pali ahead of the PDC World Darts Championship final. It's me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, of course, alongside a Motorpoint Sky hat-trick on a nearly new car with a warranty. A same-day drive away and a saving of thousands of pounds. More football chat still to come on today's show. But now it's time to catch up with PDC World Championship finalist Luke Littler, thanks to our friends at Village Hotels.
WDC final build-up live from Ali Pali on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Rooms from as little as £49 in the Big Village sale. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
And it gives me great pleasure to welcome back to our studio here at Ali Pali, Luke Littler. Hello, Luke the Nuke. How are you?
I'm okay.
The last time we spoke to you here was 12 months ago, and you were just a little baby. And now look at you, you're just an older little baby, still just 17 years old. Does it feel like it did 12 months ago? Or has there so much changed in those 12 months in your life?
Obviously, it's been very different. But the main thing is getting past that first game against Ryan Meikle, probably the biggest game I've ever played. But ever since, I've relaxed, settled myself and not put any pressure on myself, and it's all gone well so far.
You look like, apart from that game, which was incredibly emotional for you, we saw that at the end, you look like you're enjoying it. We saw that last night. It was relatively comfortable, that win in the end. But you look like you're enjoying it. Are there any nerves for you when you're up on that stage?
I wouldn't say I felt nerves, really, apart from, obviously, the first game. But when I'm playing so well, the crowd are there, and obviously the 180s and the doubles are going in, then you don't need to feel nervous, and then they'll just flow in.
When you look at the year you've had this year, I mean, it's been absolutely exceptional up until this point. And then you compare it to last year, where he's relatively unknown, but he still played really well to get to that final. Do you feel that confidence now starting to flow? Because when you're throwing the darts, you look like you can hit exactly what you want.
Yeah, obviously Michael, he's been here numerous times. It's his 7th final tonight, and it's my 2nd. I've been here before. I know what the occasion's like. And I know what went wrong last year, maybe very different tonight. But for myself, just get off to a quick start.
That match against Ryan Meikle was incredible for so many reasons. One of them being you broke the record for the high set average in a World Championship match by averaging, even when I read this, it sounds wrong, 140.91. That was in the 4th and final set. I mean, you did everything possible apart from maybe win the boat race. It was just ridiculous to watch as a sports fan. How did it feel when you were up there? Did you feel like something magical was happening?
I thought to myself, just win this set. The way things are going, the way I was feeling, I can't be going into a last set decider in my first round game. Obviously, that'll go down as history, but I said previously in the press and when I spoke to people, I don't really want to remember that game because it weren't a good game, but obviously I remember them 3 legs, 4 legs.
Yeah, you've been tested, I think, one other time. That was against Ryan Joyce, right? It went to the final set 4-3. Did you feel under pressure when it got to the final set, the 7th one there?
I wouldn't say it. Obviously, I was against the darts in the last set, but throughout the game, me and Ryan, we couldn't hold our throw near enough half the time. So we knew break his throw and then hold, you're 2-0 up and you're a leg away. And then obviously he held for 2-1, and then when I was 2-1 up, I just had to hold my throw and I got over the line.
I've heard a lot of people talk about certainly that first round, 1st to 3, is difficult. Why is that?
It's very short.
Too short?
Too short.
Yeah, I think so.
But obviously for us seeds, you have to get past that once, and then it's 1st to 4. But yeah, I'd probably say the first 2 rounds, if you're a non-seed, it's very difficult. And for us seeds, for myself, there's a lot of pressure. and expectation, but to get through that game, it was really good.
What's your relationship with Michael van Gerwen like? Because when you were coming through 12 months ago, I got the impression that he, and this is not me putting words in your mouth, this is my impression, he and a few of the elder statesmen, they looked down upon you coming through. It's like, why is this young kid that no one's heard of? They obviously had, but we hadn't. Why is he grabbing all the column inches and all the limelight? That would have changed, I imagine, his view of you over the last 12 months. But do you get on? Is he someone you play a lot with, maybe when you're touring the globe playing darts?
Obviously, we see each other week in, week out, especially with the Premier League and stuff. We'll speak backstage, have a laugh. But like what people have seen with me and Nathan Aspinall, me and Stephen Bunting, obviously showing respect. I'm sure there'll be no fist bumps after we win a set tonight.
Do you know what? It's interesting you say about Stephen Bunting because you're both fans' favourite. What was it like planning that? Because again, I feel like tonight as well, the fans love Michael van Gerwen. They also love you as well. What is it like planning a game like that where the fans are on both your sides?
Yeah, it means the world to both of us, especially me. I know the crowd are very fan favourite over me, but I don't know what to expect tonight. Will he be with Michael? Will he be with myself? But yeah, looking forward to it. Just a quick start, get the fans on my side, and then not let Michael have a chance.
You're not one for mind games, which I like, actually. You let your darts do all the talking. We saw it during the week, actually, with defending champion Luke Humphries, who, of course, lost to Peter Wright, and those two had a bit of a spat backstage, not to each other, but to the press. And I, for one, felt it went against Humphries when he was up there. There was a little bit more pressure, and it really G'd up Peter Wright. What did you make of, or what do you make of darts players talking about each other before they get to the hockey?
Obviously, it didn't work out for Luke, but if that's what he said, then obviously as a player you've obviously got back it up, especially as the reigning champion. You want to win that game, but yeah, you certainly won't see me doing that to another player.
No, not yet. Not yet. You're still young enough. Tell me about your day. So what time is it now? It's 10 to 5. I'm led to believe your walk-on's around about 8:15, so we've got just over 3 and a bit hours. You're going to speak to us for another 2 hours. There, I'm joking.
Wouldn't surprise me.
If I could, I would. After we've had that chat, where are you going, what are you doing, what are you going to have for dinner? Tell me about the next 2-3 hours.
Just chill out, obviously, get the practice in, go back up and sign all family, friends in, make sure they're in, got the tickets. But yeah, it's AirPods in, listen to my music and just focus.
One thing I've got to ask you about is that I know you've been campaigning for a while for David Beckham to start following you. He's obviously doing that. He would be absolutely devastated. David Beckham is like his hero. And the fact that he hasn't started following him, he was jealous. But yeah. What did that mean to you?
Can I borrow your phone for 5 minutes while you speak to Bendy? Do you mind? I'll just DM back.
Yeah,
have you spoke to him much?
No, not really.
Okay.
But obviously, him following me, it's everything. It means everything. And obviously, we travel to New York for the World Series next year. So hopefully I can maybe go over to Miami for a game.
How has that side of your life been over the last 12 months? Because everyone now wants to follow you and everyone wants to be a part of you, where when you're coming into the sport, you're looking at all these superstars going, I know that is that, but they all know who you are now. How much has that changed your world? It must be so difficult for you.
Yeah, a lot's changed, especially with what you said there. But I'm just 17.
I know.
This is me. I'll be the same. I don't need to change anything.
Do you feel 17?
Yeah.
You do? No, that's a good answer. Because I feel as though, as a huge fan of darts, and it's only been 12 months that we've known you, we as a collective sports fan have known you, but we feel as though we've known you for so much more than 12 months. Do you feel as though you've been a darts player for longer than... I know you have, but not professionally. Do you feel as though you've been on the circuit and you've been doing what you're doing for longer than 12 months?
It just flew by. Looking back on the amount of flights I've done, the amount of countries I've visited, it's all gone so quick, and now I'm into my second year.
What's the tough part about flying around the globe for 12 months? How much time do you get off a year?
No idea. Obviously this year I dropped out of a few tournaments because of the travel, and just to have days off to rest, especially for the big tournaments coming up. So I'd miss the Pro Tours on the floor, but that's all about just managing the schedule.
I was talking to Benty earlier on about who he thinks tonight is more important for. And he said, you said Michael van Gerwen, right? And the reason we think that is because he has got a lot less years in front of him than you do. How do you feel? Who do you think is more important for tonight?
No idea. Obviously, it's his 7th final. He's looking looking for his fourth. It's been obviously a while. I know he'll be up for it, and he's obviously hungry for that fourth title. But I'm coming into it looking to obviously win my first. Obviously, I've only lost one game here, which was the final last year, and I so want to put that right tonight.
I don't know if you remember, you spoke to me and Bentley about a month ago. You were in the car with your mates, do you remember?
Yeah.
I asked you a question. I'll ask you the same one now. I said, you've had a great year. I've got it written down in front of me. You've won the Premier League, the World Series, Grand Slam of Darts, the three Players' Championships. You've won 2 Masters, one out in Poland, one out in Bahrain as well. And I said to you, would you swap all of that to become world champion? You said no. If I asked you that question now you're in the final, what would your answer be?
No.
You still keep that great year?
Yeah.
Because it's coming, right?
Hopefully. I'll try for 20, 30 years, and if I don't, then I won't be happy.
We'll be here then, by the way.
Will you?
And and you know what? They still wouldn't have got a heater for us. It's still going to be that cold. How's your Switch? You play the Nintendo Switch? Is that right? What are you playing at the moment?
I played it for a day.
Oh, fine, okay. Because everyone's been talking about that, right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing with your spare time then, if you get any spare time?
Just on my phone. Instagram, TikTok, messaging my friends and playing games on my phone.
Yeah. How was your Christmas? Was it good?
Yeah, it was just obviously going back to the Ryan Meikle game, knowing I'm going back for Christmas. So yeah, it weren't a bad Christmas. I come home with a win.
What did you have? What did you have for Christmas? What was the meal?
Turkey.
Okay. Pigs in blankets?
Yep.
Roast. Who makes the roasties?
Mum.
Secret to them? They all crispy, all fluffy?
Oh yeah.
Okay, what? Not as good as mine. What did you get for Christmas? Because you're the man that either has got everything or can have whatever he wants. What did you get? What did people buy you?
Yeah, I remember my mum saying, "What do I get you for Christmas?" And I just said to her, "I don't want out. You don't have to."
That's nice.
But she got me some clothes, new Xbox controller, headset, gaming chair. Yeah, that's it.
Socks? You get socks? He likes the socks.
I did. I got some
You got
socks.
Xbox, yeah. I thought you'd be more.
I didn't get a link set though.
Oh, I didn't get the link set.
I didn't.
You didn't buy them, no?
What do you mean the link set? What the? Oh, is that what you asked for?
No, I didn't get it.
Hold on. Well, you say that. No, we haven't got one for you. I'll tell you what. When you win tonight, because I want you to win, I won't say that to Michael Van Gogh, but from when you win tonight, I will buy you that link set. All right? Well, talkSPORT buy it and we'll put it through, but we will get you on. Listen, thank you so much for coming on. It can't be easy every time people want a piece of you. And we are huge fans of yours, not just here at talkSPORT, but our listening millions around the world are big, big fans of darts. And what you've done for darts, everyone thanks you for a long, long time. Have a great evening tonight. Play great darts.
Good luck.
And all the very best.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
There you go, the wonderful. A round of applause for Luke Littler, please, everyone. Superstar, we know that. Thank you, Luke. Have a great evening. We'll see you soon. We'll see you just in a couple of minutes. We're going to have a very quick break because when we come back, we'll be speaking to another player, of course, Luke's opponent that is in tonight's final. That will be Michael van Gerwen. That was all thanks to our friends at Village Hotels. Find rooms for as little as £49 in the Big Village sale at villagehotels.com.
WDC Final Build-Up, live from Ali Pally on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Rooms from as little as £49 in the Big Village sale. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
DAB, online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker.
Football thrives in 2025.
Talk Sport.
talkSPORT Sports Update with Trust a Trader. When it matters, get the job done marvellously well by a verified Trust a Trader professional.
Talk Sport.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good afternoon. Ruben Amorim says United are exercising their option to extend Harry Maguire's contract by 1 year.
I think he coped very well with these struggles. And when you look our team, we are starving for leaders on the pitch. So he's a leader. He has to improve that part. He has to improve his game. So we are happy to continue with Harry.
Amorim says Amad Diallo's close to agreeing a new deal. talkSPORT understands Napoli are showing an interest in Marcus Rashford. United would likely have to heavily subsidise his wages, with Victor Osimhen on offer as a sweetener. We've also heard Juventus are interested in signing Joshua Zirkzee. United go to Liverpool on Sunday. The weekend of live action gets underway with Tottenham hosting Newcastle tomorrow. Destiny Udogie is the latest player ruled out. The Italian will miss 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. Ange Postecoglou says the club are hoping to bolster their numbers this month.
January's not an easy month. We understand that. It's not an easy time to sort of bring people in particularly quickly, and at the same time we still want to make sure we do what we think's the best thing for us, rather than sort of just panic and sort of bring in people who aren't going to be a suitable fit.
Spurs Newcastle's our live and exclusive commentary on talkSPORT. Kick-offs at 12:30. And to Ali Pally, where Russ Brays told talkSPORT we can expect what could be the best ever World Darts final.
Both the boys have hit form at the right time as well. Littler's, his 180s and his scoring ability is immense. And Van Gerwen is doing exactly the same now. He's getting into that mindset.
Luke Littler v Michael Van Gerwen is live on talkSPORT. Our coverage gets underway at 7.
talkSPORT News.
Major travel disruption is expected over the weekend as snow and ice is forecast, and NHS bosses say flu cases are rising at a very concerning rate. More from Sinead at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Get 10% off 2 or more Bridgestone Turanza All Season 6 tyres and claim your free Kambuka bottle. Book today at quickfit.com or your local centre. Conditions apply.
Temperatures are set to drop below freezing overnight, so expect plenty of frost in the morning.
On 1089 and 1053, medium wave, on your mobile and on your smart speaker.
talkSPORT Drive.
Danger. Extra wide programming ahead.
The nation's #1 sports-dedicated drive time radio show. talkSPORT Drive.
Welcome back to our number 2 of Drive Time on talkSPORT. We are live from Ali Pally, head of the PDC World Darts Championship final with Village Hotels. Visit villagehotels.com. More darts chat coming your way in just a moment, but first a reminder, it's another big old weekend in the Premier League.
The only place to be is with game day. Kulusevski away in the box, rolls it back for Johnson. Fantastic goal from Tottenham Hotspur.
And Tottenham's undulating season continues.
They're all over the place, Tottenham. Finds Isak in front of goal. Toe pokes it in. Brilliant finish.
Gordon right wing cross into Isak. Brilliant header.
I think he's the best striker in the Premier League on current form.
New year, new aims, and top 4 is now the aim for Pep and Manchester City.
Haaland's got the better of Pinnock into the area. Haaland! Towards the middle of the goal. It's headed by Souček and he's in.
West Ham were truly awful. West Ham 0, Liverpool 5.
Overall, their season hasn't really taken off. There's been no real new manager bounce, has there?
There is always top-class live football on the talkSPORT network.
Oh yes, there is. Tomorrow lunchtime sees Tottenham take on Newcastle. That one is live and exclusive on talkSPORT from 11 a.m. Commentary from Sam Magnification and Stuart Pearce. Then at 3 o'clock, Adrian Durham. He takes you around the grounds with our team of reporters up and down the country and live over on talkSPORT 2. The superstar is Ian Danta. I'm only saying that because he's to my left. We'll speak to Danta in just a moment. Ian Danta and Perry Jerry Groves bring you commentary on Man City's game against West Ham. That's from the Etihad Stadium. However, my friends, the big one this weekend sees Manchester United travel to Anfield to face league leaders Liverpool. Now, yesterday we discussed United in great detail, but it's time now to look at Liverpool. More importantly, news surrounding Trent Alexander-Arnold. Reports are now suggesting that Madrid are still trying to get an agreement in place with the fullback on personal terms for a summer move following their failed attempt to try and buy him in January. It's believed that Trent if he stays at the club, wants assurances about being the captain of the club in the future. Earlier today, the boss Arnie Slot, he spoke to the media regarding speculation surrounding Trent.
I can tell you that he's playing on Sunday, and hope. Half of a season he had, how much he is here, how much he wants to win here. Played an incredible game against West Ham. I think we all remember that pass he gave. I think it was second. He's fully committed to us, and he will play on Sunday. If they don't tell me he's sick, but I don't expect them to.
When you hear someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold say he wants assurances that he'll be the next captain,
yep.
That for me says that he's opening up a door and he wants to stay. What does that say to you?
Yeah, a little bit, but also it might be one of those situations where he knows full well that while Virgin's kicking about, he's got no chance of being captain yet. So it might be one of those, well, if I want to be captain, I want to stay. And then if Liverpool were to turn around and go, okay, here's the Virgin, not captain, here's your armband, he might go, oh, no.
No, do you think so? Do you think he would say that?
Potentially, but Virgil was their captain. There's no way, as long as he's kicking about for the next 2-3 years, he's their captain, he's their leader.
So do you think Trent has used that as a sort of get out of jail free card?
A little bit.
Well, if you don't let me be captain, I'm going.
Maybe a little bit of that, but I can't see it. I just think Virgil is their leader. I think he's their most important player. I think regardless of Salah's goals, and I'd always be one for the attackers and their numbers and their assists and their stats. But when you look at Virgil in that centre half, you just get that calming influence. But again, I think Trent will. I think he will leave, and he's been fantastic. He's won the lot. Do you know what I mean? I can understand Liverpool saying absolutely not right now in January, regardless of what Real Madrid give you, because stockpile those trophies, have another really good year, successful year, and then at the end of the season, Liverpool can go with our blessings. Thank you for helping us achieve another maybe Champions League, another Premier League. Away you go. But there's no way now, at the midst of this season, when they're playing really well, top of the Premier League, flying in the Champions League, I'm not letting them go anywhere.
Can a club say to a player, "This is part of your deal. You'll be the captain"? What happens if a new manager comes in and says, "I don't want him as my captain"?
Well, no, he's got no choice. If it's in the contract,
can you do that?
Yeah, if it's in your contract, the manager can't really, regardless of the new manager coming in, can't influence.
What I'm saying is, you can't do that, can you?
You can't, but you can. It depends how important that player is to the club.
Are you not undermining the manager's decision?
Well, no, because you're almost like, well, this player was here before you got here.
I know, but what about if the manager goes, I want to sign this player and he's going to be a better captain for the club?
And they'll be like, well, unfortunately not. I mean, maybe there's a discussion to be had, but if that's in the contract, I don't think you could put in someone's contract as long as they're at that club, they're captain. Right. I think maybe it's got to be maybe 2 years in it or something like that. But I've never heard that before. I've heard highest paid, but not that.
Do you think that would be enough to keep someone like Trent at a club like Liverpool?
Well, I'd like to think for Trent. I get that Madrid is Madrid, right? But I'd like to think that he wouldn't need a reason to stay. If he wants to stay, just stay, because that's his club. Like I don't think he needs assurances and carrots. Like, if you're going to stay, we'll be the character. That's his club.
Captain, you mean?
Yeah, he shouldn't need that.
No, he shouldn't.
Do you know what I mean? But the fact that all top players, for whatever reason, and Liverpool's a top club, one of the biggest in the world, one of the best, they all end up going to Real Madrid or Barcelona. It's just how it's been since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm sure since you was a kid, all the top players.
It's going to be the same period of time.
Exactly. They always end up at one of those clubs.
Yeah.
So, well, no, it's not the same period of time. No, it's not that.
I'm just stunned that you've got a player in his position that would say, I want to be captain and I'll stay. Like, that shouldn't be the reason that keeps you at a club.
And that's
especially
in this scenario where he is a Scouser, he's from the area. Yeah, that's his club.
Either stay and be a Liverpool player, and if you're captain, great. Or if you want to leave.
Yeah, but even if you're not captain, if you want to stay at your football club, just make it known that, do you know what? At this point where he's down to the last part of his contract, he shouldn't need to come out and go, if this doesn't happen, I'm not going to stay. If you're going to stay, just stay. Regardless.
There's a lot of noise surrounding this deal at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
I think he's gone.
Do you?
Yeah, I think
Why would that come out? Just for another reason for him to go, see?
Maybe, yeah. I just think I think he's made his mind up. And all indications, with Salah's noise, I genuinely think he's trying to tell the hierarchy.
I want to stay.
Or he's more trying to tell the fans, listen, I want to stay. Blame the hierarchy. They're not giving me what I want, so I want to stay, though. But it's up to them. Whereas Trent's not making that much noise. I just feel that he will... I think the deal's done.
Could it derail their season if this drags on throughout the month of January?
No, because I think you know full well he's either going to be there at the end of the season or he's not.
Okay. If it's come out in the next... Let's just say we come on air next Thursday.
Yeah.
And the big news is he's signed a deal, a pre-contract, whatever it's called, with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
What does that do for the rest of his season in a Liverpool shirt?
If he keeps putting in the level of performances he's been doing, and he's
No, I know, but surely as a player you're thinking, I don't really care.
No, because you
subconsciously.
No, I think it's different again for Trent, because I think he's been there from a kid. So you almost use that as your thanks, fans. I love you. It's a bit like when Jurgen Klopp did it, when he knew he was going. He was like, thanks, Liverpool fans. You've been wonderful. It's almost like your swan song. Every time you put on that Liverpool shirt, you're coming towards the end.
I know, but he didn't go anywhere after. I know he has since, but
who? Jurgen?
Yeah.
He left the club.
I know, but Trent's got another club to go to. He's already signed with that club.
I generally think he won't do well with them at all.
Staying on the contract situation at Liverpool, Mohamed Salah has been speaking to Sky Sports in an exclusive interview. Once again reaffirmed that it is his last year at the club and no progress has been made. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, so far, it's the last 6 months. There is nothing, no progress there. Like we're far away from any progress, so we just need to wait and see. The thing in my head is like, okay, if that's your last 6 months or last year, what you want to see it in the future? Like, you want to look back and say, oh, I was concerned about the contract, or I was stressed, or just you want to say, okay, I had an unbelievable season. So that's in my head now. All the time, like if I feel like kind of distraction, just remind myself, okay, you wanna look back and say, oh, I had unbelievable season.
And that audio, by the way, is courtesy of our friends at Sky Sports. Thank you for that, Sky Sports people. When he was asked about why he wants the Premier League over the Champions League, he said, I've no idea. It's probably because we didn't celebrate the one we won in the way we wanted to, and also coming back here too. It's my last year with the club, so you want to do something special for the city. He goes on to say the first thing that was on the list was to win the Premier League with Liverpool. I still believe the team needs that trophy. There is still half of the team like me, Trent, Virgil, Alisson and Robbo, Andy Robertson. It's necessary for us to win another trophy before we all go.
Yeah.
Before we all go. Blimey,
Yeah.
that's damning, isn't
I
it?
can understand why he wants another Premier League. I think I can understand that. I mean, he's already won Champions League.
Yeah.
But I can understand bread and butter. Do you know what I mean? Man City have had such a stronghold on the Premier League for a number of years now. Being part of that squad, that kind of derails that. You've obviously win another one, that's 2, Champions League. I can understand why I do that. Because if you ask Steven Gerrard, I know he won the Champions League. He was desperate for one Premier League.
I know he was, but if he would have won the Premier League and didn't win the Champions League, I wonder if the answer would be the opposite.
I bet you if he'd won, but if he can only pick one, I bet he would have chose the Premier League.
Yeah, but he slipped up.
Oh.
No, I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, you did. You know exactly what you're doing.
I think it's a massive end of season for Liverpool.
Yeah.
I mean, the window can't close in January.
They wish it shut now.
Yeah, they do. But the window can't close with the future still uncertain.
Well, it can.
Of 2 of their big hitters.
They can, because they know they've got them till the end of the season at least. So there's no worries about him going absolutely anywhere. Go and do what you're doing. I think if their level of performance had dropped, people could beat these players with that kind of, see, you want to leave.
Yeah, that's right.
But because all of them have been like 10 out of 10 in their performances, you can't really say anything.
Have you ever been part of a setup at a team? I'm thinking Tottenham when you send the tweet out.
Oh, that was pre-season.
Oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah.
then. So maybe the answer's going to be different. Where what is going on for you off the pitch has affected your performance because you've been thinking about it while you've been playing. Does that happen?
No, not really. For me, it didn't, because the moves came either in the summer, and when they did come in January, it was like quite quick, bam, 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 and away we went.
Okay.
But I'm never in a situation like this where, is he going to go, is he not, what's happening? But again, you can only credit the players with that, because there's been situations, and I remember Eden Hazard was a prime example of that. Wanted to go to Real Madrid the year before, didn't get that move. That last season for Chelsea, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like incredible.
Ronaldo the same, remember?
Ronaldo the exact same. And now these 3, not letting their standards drop, going to another level. It'd be a shame if they leave, but I think one of them will leave come into the season for sure.
If you're joining Drive late and you're thinking, why is all that noise there? What's going on at talkSPORT Towers? Well, we're not talkSPORT
It's Harry
Towers.
Durham eating a hot dog over there.
That could be Harry Durham, and over there is Ali Pally. That's where we are. Me and Benny are live at Ali Pally. We are building up to the live commentary of the PDC World Darts Championship final. We've already spoken to Luke Littler. I don't know if Michael Van
Where is
I don't know if I'm allowed to tell people that he's decided not to do any interviews because he's always feeling the cold. I don't want to throw anyone under a bus, so I wouldn't say this. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Van Gogh will be joining us. That won't be happening. Michael McIntyre will be joining us. He'll be tipping up in about an hour's time. Ian Danton will be with us as well. And, pains me to say it, Benny, lots of members of the public will be with us. The doors are opening soon. We're in the food hall. This time last year, I don't know if you remember, there was about 1,000 people in this room, maybe more. Are you nervous? We've got the rope round us. We're VIP'd up.
Sure, I don't
and legally, they're not allowed to be within 8 feet of me.
I don't need the rope. Let them come in. See us.
Right. Can we edit that out?
I don't mind that. Let them in.
No, don't. If you're listening, you're on your way to Ali Pali, he's joking. That's not going to be happening. Stay with us. Lots coming up between now and 7 as we build up to live commentary of the PDC World Darts Championship final as Luke Littler takes on Michael van Gerwen live on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT traffic.
At Warwickshire, the M40 is closed southbound after a lorry caught fire between junction 16 for Henley and Arden and 15 for Warwick. In Lincolnshire, near Grantham, the A1 southbound is still closed after a collision between the A52 and the Grantham South turn-off. In Hertfordshire, 30 minutes of queues on the M25 anti-clockwise. There are 2 lanes shut there for barrier repairs just before junction 23 for the A1M. I'm Adam Moore.
Game day. Score some Saturday football.
It is in!
Tomorrow. Exclusive full match commentary of Manchester City versus West Ham.
Coverage from 2:30. Kick-off 3 p.m.
on talkSPORT 2.
You listen to Drive on talkSPORT. We're live from Ali Pally ahead of the PDC World Darts Championship final with me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent and Motorpoint. Check out hundreds of new Audis, BMWs and Kias online and in-store now. Still to come, our chief football correspondent Alex Crook will be joining us to preview all the weekend's Premier League action. Just quickly, Bent, you can give us a quick view on this. Celtic apparently are trying to re-sign Kieran Tierney from Arsenal. Yeah,
I can understand that because he hasn't got much game time. He's fallen way down the pecking order behind maybe Zinchenko and Miles Lewis-Skelly and also Calafiori as well. Timber can play there, so he needs to go and play some football, yeah.
Staying with Arsenal, reports suggest that the Gunners are closely watching Joe Bellingham from Sunderland.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure where he played, but listen, he's a good player. I mean, he's not his brother, of course, but he's a good player and he's had a good season for Sunderland, to be fair.
Talking of Joe Bellingham and footballers, do you remember when the Panini stickers came out, just quickly?
Yeah.
Panini have launched darts stickers, exactly like the football ones, but darts ones. They've very kindly sent me a picture of me.
What's your rating?
It doesn't sound. It says 10 out of 10.
Oh, 72. Wow. Okay.
No, that's what I checked out to beat you earlier on the stage. But thank you, Panini, for sending me that. Dart stickers, football stickers, we love that. Good work, Panini. Right, it's time now for this.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT.
18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Yes, we can get the very latest odds from Paddy Power. Join us now to look at tonight's final is Paddy Power.
Japers, darts, pool. Is there anything you can't do?
No.
I'm modest too.
I tell you, I can't keep warm in a room like this. Look at me. Look at me.
Imagine trying to heat this place. Though,
oh my goodness, it's going to get warmer as the outside public walk in.
Yeah. You might get showered with a few pints thrown in the air as well. Yeah.
That wouldn't be the first time. How are you? It's good to see you.
I'm
You're
great,
right.
Yeah, it's great to see you lads too. It's great to be here in the flesh. I've been watching from home. I was over early in the tournament, but I've been watching mostly from home, and I'm kind of dying to get back. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, I mean, the standard darts has been brilliant since it started. Now we've got. I know they're not 1 and 2 in the world, but they're 3 and 4. But there's a big argument to be had. They're the best 2 players on the planet at the moment. From your perspective, what's it meant that Littler and Van Gerwen's got to the final?
I think it's brilliant because if you looked at the draw at the very start, you were thinking, okay, it's going to be Littler, Humphreys in the semi, and it's going to be Van Gerwen versus another in the other semi, right? And you definitely would have wanted Van Gerwen to get there on that side just for the bit of drama and the bit of he's a bit scary and whatever. And getting Littler to the final is huge, obviously, because he is darts at the moment, right? And I guess it's like good against evil. That's a bit unfair on Van Gerwen, but you know what I mean. The crowd will be massively with Littler and Van Gerwen. I'd imagine that'd be like water off a duck's back, and I'd say that there could be a little bit of like gamesmanship or niggle there because he could intimidate him. I'd imagine, you know, because Littler's a kid. I think Van Gerwen is quite a big, scary dude, like, and he can be quite intimidating. So I think that's going to be interesting tonight because all the darts players seem to really look after Littler, which is lovely. But I wonder when it gets to the final, will suddenly be a bit like sticking the elbow in, you know?
Yeah,
maybe. Compared to previous seasons and certainly the World Championships, I'm guessing a lot of Littler was the favourite, of course.
Yeah.
Is it been, say that last year, who was the favourite last year?
So Humphreys was the favourite last year and Van Gerwen, the two of them were close favourites. And Littler was like, he wasn't a no-hoper, he was backed by those in the know, but like at 25s and 33s, I think, and then went off somewhere around 8 or 9 to 1, right. I think.
Yeah, because my kind of question was, has you ever seen it where it's been so heavily favoured on one person?
But we saw it when Phil Taylor was around. It was like that all the time. But in recent years, it's like he's the heir apparent, isn't he? So it's, and to be honest, like for the good of the sport, in inverted commas, it would be the fairy tale result tonight. You know.
True.
So come on then, who's the favourite to win tonight outright?
Well, the man himself is favourite. Yeah, he's 4 to 11, pretty short price, and Van Gerwen's 2 to 1, Van Gerwen might feel slightly insulted by those odds, I'd say, but the way Littler has been playing, he has been pretty awesome, and his high lift. Here's me, the expert in darts for 2 weeks a year, you know. But his averages just seem to be relentless, don't they? And Van Gerwen's he seems to have managed his games well and kind of won the best legs at the right time or whatever. But probably hasn't had as strong a season as Littler would have had this year. But yeah, look, it's he's got to be favoured. He's the crowd favourite. The money's all for him, and it's the fairy tale.
Who do you think will get the most 180s tonight? As things currently stand, Littler's got 64, Van Gerwen 43.
Yeah, so I think Littler, we're expecting him to get about 20 or 21. Imagine 20 or 21 himself in the match. So he's almost certainly going to break Michael Smith-Old's record for the most 180s in the tournament. So, and he's costing us a bloody fortune with the whole 180s thing. But
on behalf of everyone listening, good.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And he's so we've like the running total at the moment, as I'm just checking here, I've just put my specs on. That's how old I am. 882 180s at the moment. And we've had obviously the 2-9 darters. So we're like a million and 2,000, quid down basically on the 180 giveaway to Prostate Cancer UK, which is great. To be fair, it is a good thing.
Of course it is.
It's good darts, better watching, more people watching, everyone like that, and also it's a good charity benefiting. So it's all good. But yeah, I think it's a no contest between the two of them who's going to get the most 180. I think it's almost no offers that it's going to be Littler.
Okay. Does the 9 darter tonight hurt you?
It does. That's actually literally the worst thing that can happen to us tonight. But at the same time, I don't care. It's the best thing that can happen.
On behalf of everyone listening,
I know, exactly. We all want it, right? Because they're knocking on the door. We've had 2. We expected between 1 and 2 in the whole tournament. We had 2 early doors, and they weren't the highest profile games. But still, it kind of raised the idea that somebody in the crowd can get the 60 grand and all that kind of stuff, which is brilliant. And so we get one tonight. It'd just be mega.
It would be great.
Yeah.
It would be great. We saw 170 as well from Little last night.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, I was here the first Sunday, so I've lost track of where we are in the world, but 2 Sundays ago, that might have been.
Last year, yeah.
It was last year. And I had a bet on the night of darts for that evening session. We would see a 9 darter and a 170. And as we got in, we sat down and someone was throwing the 7th of the 9 and missed it.
Right.
And someone threw the last dart for the bullseye for the 170 and missed it. So we could have seen both of them in the same night. We didn't. Could we see that tonight, a 170 checkout and a 9 darter?
Well, here's the thing, right? This is a theory I've just made up this moment in my head, right? So the fact that we've had the most ever 180, we're probably going to have the most ever 180s in the tournament, and the fact that the standard seems to have been just dragged up, it's just higher, the averages and all that kind of stuff. And we've had 2, we'd no 9 darters last year, we've had 2 this year already. So the theory is that people are just better at darts now. So there's more chance of that happening, right? Than there would have been a few years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Paddy, again, thanks for coming on, and
Pleasure,
I hope you lose so much more money.
Thank
On
you
behalf
so
of everyone
much.
listening,
Thanks so much.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for
No
joining
worries.
us.
Thanks,
There you go.
Andy.
Those are the latest odds. Thanks to our wonderful friends at Paddy Power.
Paddy Power on talkSPORT.
18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Still to come, we're going to be joined by comedian and the legend that is Michael McIntyre. He'll be joining us live from Ali Pally. First, it's time for No Googling Part 2. We have been discussing Liverpool against Manchester United on Sunday. It's a horrible game of football. Since 2020, United have only scored 6 times against Liverpool in the league. Whilst shut your face, while the Reds have scored more. It says 28 in front of me. Blimey. We want to know how many has Mohamed Salah scored in that time against Man United. If I can be bothered, I'll give you the answer
I'll give it.
One of us will give you the answer right after this, live on Drive on talkSPORT.
DAB, online, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.
talkSPORT News.
Good evening with your headlines. I'm Sinead Garvan. Major travel disruption is expected on the roads, rail and in the air as the UK's plunged into below freezing temperatures this weekend. Amber warnings are in place for most, meaning snow and freezing rain. Power cuts are also likely. Jim Dale is from the British Weather Services.
Tonight is all about ice. What we're then seeing is this frontal system coming in. Now it's a warm front, so it's milder air, but it's hitting the cold air, and this is the problem, because as it does so, it's going to produce snow, sleet, and in places freezing rain.
Meanwhile, a 7-month-old boy died in a crash when the car he was travelling in hit a tree near Grantham last night. Lincolnshire police are looking at whether ice was a factor. Flu cases are rising at a very concerning rate, says the NHS, as figures show the number of patients in England quadrupled last week. Data suggests nearly 5,000 people were being treated on Sunday. Dr Adrian Boyle is the president of the Royal College of Emergency Medicine.
The biggest problem is that staff start going sick. You also end up having to close wards because you've got flu outbreaks, and it creates this massive backlog, both in the emergency departments and with ambulances outside.
And Neil Young's changed his mind about headlining Glastonbury. Yesterday he said he wouldn't play because of the BBC's involvement. Today he says he and his band will be performing, blaming an error in the information he received.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you're looking for a professional grade sealant that offers technologically advanced performance, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
One more year for Harry Maguire, and Luke Littler has told talkSPORT he hasn't felt any nerves since his first game at Ali Pali this year. Tonight's PDC final against Michael Van Gerwen is live on talkSPORT.
The stars come out to talk on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2. The biggest names in football.
Former Barcelona captain Gerard Piqué.
Hi.
You know you're more handsome in real life.
Blue chip, AAA rated opinion.
And it's a very good morning to Manny Petit.
His achievement, has been magnificent.
Planet-sized players.
The legend that is Peter Schmeichel.
I've been very, very entertained so far.
Massive games, massive names on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2.
Still to come. Welcome back, by the way. Still to come on our show. We're going to be joined by Michael McIntyre. He should be. I keep saying to him, 6:15, and he's gone, no, of course, yes, no problem. That's how he talks. Before the break, I asked a question. It was about Liverpool, surprisingly. In 2020, United, or since then, United have only scored 6 times against Liverpool in the league. Liverpool have scored a few more times.
How many times, Andy?
28. How many times has Mohamed Salah scored in that time against Manchester United? The answer is...
I think it's 12.
Never.
12.
Never. Okay, 12. It is 12. Still to come on our show, we'll be joined by a former PDC quarter-finalist and talkSPORT commentator, Paul Nicholson, the brilliant Paul Nicholson. He'll be joining us to get to tonight's final. It's live on talkSPORT. Of course, it is Luke Littler will be taking on Michael Van Gerwen. We spoke to Luke Littler. He joined us for about half an hour, 20 minutes. He was brilliant on our show. If you missed any of that, go to the website and watch again, or download the app and listen again. All of that and more is coming up in just a moment, but first it's time now for this.
By the way, do you two like haddock? Dinner, either swordfish and salad or steak and calamari.
I actually had an ice cream outside the Trevi Fountain in Rome.
I did have a burger today. You do tend to let it slip on a Sunday.
Cooking with us today is
Who looks like he should be a great darts player, but he's not. Alex Crook joins us to look ahead to another weekend of Premier League football. Crookie Monster, good evening to you.
Good evening. I'm not a terrible darts player. I'm not a great finisher, but then North Benty, from what I saw in his match against Natalie.
You wouldn't seen any finishing because he didn't have a chance. Oh, no, he did have the chance to finish, but he, I think, what's the word I'm looking for? Bottled it. That's the word I'm looking for.
That happens, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? But, very lively Crookie. When Arsenal pick up a draw or a point, he's messaging me. Been quiet for a little few weeks at Man United. Rubbish,
Crookie, why don't you ask Benty how we got on against me on the main stage here at Ali Pali when we played 301 today? Ask him how we got on. Go on, Crookie.
Go on, Benty. How did you get on?
So, Crookie, give us the first story. Who have you been speaking to?
Yeah, so that's quick move. He lost. He came second. Right, listen, let's start off by talking about Bent's team, Arsenal. They face Brighton away this weekend, looking to close the gap at the top of the league. Crookie, what has Mikel Arteta been saying ahead of the game?
Yeah, Arsenal well adrift in second place, of course, despite the fact Man City have basically taken a year off. The January transfer window is open, and Mikel Arteta has been speaking about the importance of Arsenal's academy rather than the window this month.
Well, regardless of the PSR, that's the first intention that we always had. The thing is what you need is available in the academy in the time frame that you need it as well, because we can have a lot of talent, but maybe that talent at the moment doesn't have a space in the squad. It's something that we have built over the years to create with the players that they were coming through, a space in that squad, so we can after fulfill those gaps with the players that we have.
There you go, Mikel Arteta talking about what Arsenal could or could not do in this month's window. I mean, I was joking there, Benty, but if I said to you at the start of the season you'd be this far ahead of Man City and still second, I don't think you'd have believed me, would you?
Do you know, I wouldn't have, Crookie, and that's the thing, because I always expected if Man City did have a fall off, Arsenal was supposed to be next in line after the two previous seasons that they've had, but Liverpool have been fantastic. You can't hide that fact that all their top players have performed. They've been better than Arsenal, simple as that, which is why Arsenal find themselves in second place. But this is a tough game, Crookie, certainly against Brighton, because Brighton are down. They're in a bit of wretched form right now.
Wretched?
Yeah, certainly after the start they made to the season. They're in poor form. This is still a dangerous game for Arsenal to take part in.
Yeah, I agree with that, but you've got a good record. I think you've won down there the last 2 seasons. No wins in 7 for Brighton. I wonder if this might just be a good time to be playing them. I think what we can say now, and I thought Brentford away, a goal down, you could have been in trouble there, came back to win. I don't think Arsenal can afford any more slip-ups if they are to really Liverpool.
Cookie, do we expect Arsenal to be active in this window?
I think they're trying. The noise around Mateus Cunha at Wolves seems to be getting louder this afternoon, but I know Wolves, when Gary O'Neill was in charge, gave assurances that he wouldn't be sold in this window, and I think if they're to stay up and it's competitive down there now at the bottom, they need to keep him. But certainly he's one to keep an eye on. I know that Mikel Arteta is a fan of Mohamed Kudus at West Ham, but again, I think that's probably one more for the summer. So I think Arteta is almost setting his stall out there, saying, look, we're not necessarily going to break the bank this window, but he has faith in youngsters like Lewis Skelly, who's getting a lot of game time, and Wanyeri as well.
Before we move on, just quickly, because it's Brighton, you've got no sponsorship deals, have you, Crookie?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
No, okay. How do you see the game going? Brighton against Arsenal. Darren Bent, you're obviously going to go for an away win. What score will Arsenal win?
Arsenal win 3-1.
And Crookie, speak a bit more sense to me.
I've actually gone Arsenal to win 3-1 as well, so I'm in Benty's camp on that.
Have you really? All friends. Right, let's move on now to Sunday's games, and we'll start with Fulham, who take on Ipswich. Crookie, what have you got for us?
Big one, this, isn't it? Because Ipswich are trying to be active in the transfer window. They're looking at Ben Doak, a Liverpool player on loan at Middlesbrough. Ben Godfrey as well. I think he's in advanced talks with them. So they're certainly going to have a go in January. Fulham, one of the surprise packages of the season so far. They drew 2-2 with Bournemouth in a really good game last time out. And I spoke to Marco Silva, the Fulham manager, and asked if he's eyeing Europe this season.
Push for Europe. We are going to fight for the top half of the table, 100% sure was our goal in the beginning of the season. We are not hiding ourselves. Our ambition is clear, and it's not with words, it's with action, it's on the pitch, on the match day. And when you are fighting for the top half of the table, you can fight for many different positions there. We are going to fight. Let's hope in the next few weeks, some players, months, we have the players back, because we have 5 players out through injury that we need really them. We need them for us to be stronger, but we are going to fight. Top half of the table here is our aim. We want to do better than last season. If it's going to be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, we don't know really, but we are going to fight hard.
I've got to say, boys, Marco Silva is one of my favourite managers to interview, because you ask him a question and then he goes on for about 2.5 minutes and answers everything you need to know. He's brilliant, and I think he's doing a great job at Fulham as well.
Do you know what he is? I watched him against Bournemouth, which was a really good game. I think they were probably people's surprise package Fulham, the way they're going about their business. But I think for Marco Silva, the fact that he's got a Iwobi plan as well as he has, Harry Wilson, he's been fantastic. Raul Jimenez is scoring goals again. Crookie, I think he deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, I agree. And I think actually that's where this Premier League season for me is so good, because you've got the likes of Fulham, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, obviously, Brighton, as you say, with the start they made. The sort of mid-ranking to lower half teams are really capable of pulling off results, and that's why the likes of Tottenham and United find themselves in the bottom half of the table.
How good is Marco Silva? You touched on the fact that he's great in interviews and pre- and post-match press conferences, but as a manager, do you think he's maybe too good for where he's at the moment?
Oh, I think that's a really hard one to answer without disrespecting Fulham. But I think when you look at the fact that he had to sell his star striker Mitrovic at the start of last season, didn't really replace him like for like, but he's getting Raul Jimenez scoring goals. Rodrigo Muniz has got goals in him as well. He's got goals coming off the bench with the likes of Harry Wilson. I think he's rejuvenated Alex Iwobi. He's probably playing as well as he ever has. Emil Smith-Rowe's gone there and been a great signing. I think he's a really good manager, and his team's played decent football. And actually, in a time when possession stats seem to dominate, he's quite content for Fulham to be second best in that department, knowing that he's got weapons to hit on the counter-attack.
Right, well, listen, before we move on, let me get a prediction from you. We're talking about a Fulham side that are pushing for Europe. We're talking about an Ipswich side that are pushing for safety. What will the score be? I'll start with you, Darren Bent.
Ipswich win that.
I forgot, old team.
2-1.
OK, and a bit more sense from you, Crookie. How'd you see it going?
I'll go 2-1 the other way. I don't think Ipswich are a pushover, particularly on the back of beating Chelsea, but I think Fulham will win.
OK, let's finish by talking about a game I really don't want to talk about. Liverpool take on Manchester United. Who have you been speaking to, please say, Sir Alex Ferguson, ahead of this game?
Eric Cantona. No, I'm here. I'm at Anfield on Sunday, weather permitting. I'm praying for a snowstorm. But Ruben Amorim, the Manchester United manager, has been speaking to the media today, and he's explained just why the club have decided to extend the contract of Harry Maguire by another year.
Ahmad is near. Harry Maguire is going to trigger our option. I spoke with him this morning, and I told him that he has to improve his game on the pitch. We need him a lot. And also he needs to improve as a leader, because we all know the situation that he had here. But we need him a lot in this moment. So we are going to trigger happily the option for Harry.
That's Ruben Amorim talking about Harry Maguire and United triggering an extra year in his contract. He also said later in the press conference, we are starved of leaders. And that's a pretty damning reflection on the Manchester United squad. He's spot on, by the way. Every time they concede a goal, they just trudge back to the halfway line, kick off again. There's no accountability for bad performances and bad defeats. And you do fear for United. I know they got a 0-0 at Liverpool last season, but this could get very messy on Sunday afternoon.
Crookie, I have to be honest, Benny's laughing at me now. I think United could get absolutely smashed to pieces. I really do. Yeah. It's not inconceivable that United could be 5-0 down at half-time, and if they score 3 in the second half, I wouldn't be surprised. 8-0, I know is nuts. We won't win the game. We will lose it. It'll probably be 4 or 5-0, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was a bloodbath. It really wouldn't.
No, I agree, and not just how bad United are, but Liverpool are ruthless, aren't they, at the moment? We saw that against West Ham. People like Mo Salah, who just wants to fill his boots. Luis Diaz as well terrifies me as a United fan. And like you, I think if there's anything less than 5, United have done well.
OK. It pains me to say it. Darren Bent, I'll come to you. I don't even care about you, actually. I'm not coming to you. Crookie, how did you see the game going?
I think Liverpool will win 5-0.
No, I don't want to hear from you. Anyone here think anything? No. Benny, what do you think the score will be? Honestly, hand on heart. I think we'll get smashed, so...
Honestly, 3-0. But one of those comfortable 3-0s where you get nowhere near them and they take their foot off the gas. 3-0.
Oh, OK, well, 3-0's worse than 8-0, remember that.
Yeah.
Crookie, it's always a pleasure. Have a lovely... Are you watching the darts tonight, listening to it, of course, on your free-to-download talkSPORT app?
Absolutely. I'm very jealous of you two because I think it's going to be an absolute classic tonight. Don't go home early, Benty, for goodness sake.
Oh, that's never happening, never happening.
Well, listen, we're trying... I haven't told anyone this, right? But we're trying to get tickets for the rest of the gang here. Yeah. And if we get one extra ticket, Benty's driver can have it. How about that? Right, Crookie, listen, enjoy the weekend. I can't say enjoy the game at Anfield Sunday because you won't be able to do that, but I'm sure there'll be lots of goals. Have a good one. We'll speak to you in a bit.
Cheers, guys. Have fun.
We will. That was today's Ready, Steady, Quick. When we come back, we'll have some fun with the best of talkSPORT. And then the last hour builds up to live commentary here at Ali Pali ahead of the PDC World Darts Championship final. 17-year-old Luke Littler looking for his first world title against Michael van Gerwen looking for his 4th.
talkSPORT traffic.
Warwickshire, the M40 southbound is still shut after a lorry caught fire. It's closed from junction 16 at Henley and Arden along to junction 15 for Warwick. In Lincolnshire at Grantham, the A1 southbound is still shut after a collision between the A52 and Grantham South turn-offs. And in Hertfordshire, delays on the M25 anti-clockwise, 2 lanes shut there for barrier repairs just before junction 23 for the A1M. I'm Adam Moore.
Sunday afternoon, live Championship football on talkSPORT 2.
He's popped up with an absolute belter of a goal.
Sunderland versus Portsmouth. Coverage from 2:45. Kick-off 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon on talkSPORT 2.
No one else brings you more.
And he smashed it into the top corner.
Football fantastic. talkSPORT 2.
Welcome back. You listen to Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, alongside. We are live at Ali Pally, head of the PDC World Darts Championship final, with our friends at Motorpoint. Score hat-trick on a nearly new car, the warranty, same-day drive away and saving of thousands of pounds. Still to come on our show, comedian, superstar, funny man Michael McIntyre will be joining us later on, in about half hour, fingers crossed, to talk about, he says, his beloved Spurs, as well as tonight's final. He might talk a bit of Spurs, but he'll definitely talk about darts. He's a big darts fan. This is the first time he's ever come to a darts match in his life. What a game to come
like
to.
Me, then?
Like you? Oh, yeah, it's your first ever one, yeah. Just quickly, Wesley Fofana could be out for the rest of the season for Chelsea. Benny, how much of a miss could he be?
Yeah, it's a blow, because I like Fofana. I think him and Levi Caldwell are certainly their best pairing. The fact that he's going to be out for a season, he's had bad injuries before, big blow for him.
It is indeed. talkSPORT understands that Crystal Palace have had a £15 million offer for Liverpool's Ben Doak rejected. Ipswich are also interested in the winger. He's currently on loan at Bury. You a fan of Ben Doak?
Yeah, he's done well, to be fair. He's done really well. Probably hasn't been given the minutes that he would have liked, but I think I can remember, I might be wrong here, but I'm sure he scored in his debut for Wales. I don't know where that's come from, but good player. I think a lot was expected. Maybe hasn't quite got to the levels yet to get to where he wants to get to.
Okay. Man United have triggered the option to extend Harry Maguire's contract for a further year.
No, don't bother asking me about that. What are your thoughts on that?
You don't want to know my
thoughts.
No,
I want to know. The nation wants to know.
No, you don't want to know my thoughts. Ask me after Sunday.
No, Joe, I think he's your best defender.
He's not.
He is. He's been better than De Ligt.
He hasn't, mate.
You like De Ligt?
I do like De Ligt.
Nah, not for me.
Martinez?
Not really.
Okay, well, you talk to your opinion even when it's massively
Where's Johnny Evans
wrong.
at?
What do you mean, where's he at? What, right now? Where is he?
No,
He's in his kitchen.
is he still at United?
Yeah, of course he is, yeah.
Okay. I like Johnny.
Yeah, he's a great player. Right, time now for this. I hate talking about Man United so much. Right, time for the best of talkSPORT friends. We run you through some of the recent highlight moments from across talkSPORT and our sister stations. Let's start off with last night's Sports Bar. The fun boy Jason Cundy, a former Newcastle and Palace midfielder. Darren Ambrose, your mate, Dazza, wasn't at all impressed with all the high fives at the darts yesterday.
Know what I'd do?
What would you do? What would you do? What's the...
In the warm and 9 darts,
Go on,
I'd hit a 9 dart.
Yeah. What would you do?
I'd just hit a 9 dart.
Yeah.
Turn around and say unlucky.
And then what, would you give him verbals?
Oh, yes.
Would you?
You know, before when you shake hands, I wouldn't shake his hand.
Don't shake his hand?
I'd just pretend I didn't see him.
That's nice. See, there you go. Little tactics. Van Gogh.
And then he'd absolutely batter me.
No.
Do you think you'll ever hit a 9 darter?
Absolutely not.
I should say, I don't know if I've said this on air, but we went on the stage earlier on for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Right, and we had a match 3-1. You got smashed by me, but, and it's a big but. Your first dart went treble 20.
Second dart.
Second dart treble 20, and there was about 20 of us there,
Yeah.
and everyone went, ah! And you went 1.
Yeah.
If you would have got a 180 on stage, Benny, that would have been your first ever 180 as well.
Yeah. Done.
That might have overtaken goal of the century.
I'm not quite sure what the drop would have been, but I promise you now, if I'd have got that 180, I would have sprinted to the edge of the stage and just jumped. I don't know where I landed, but I'd have done
I'll
that.
be doing the show on my own. What happened to Benny? It's a long story. Have you ever seen Darren Ambrose in a fight? I can't imagine him throwing a punch or two.
No, the only kind of semi-scrap I remember him having was back in the youth team days, and he wasn't even he was almost play fighting, and he resorted to biting. And when he bit Steve Burton back, his tooth snapped. So that is the most.
He bit someone's back and his tooth snapped.
Steve Burton was a strong old boy, and Ambrose jumped on his back, bit him, his tooth.
So his tooth now is half a tooth.
Yeah. It's got a cap on it.
Has it really? What tooth did it? Please say front one.
Middle one, yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's very funny. Remember, the Sports Bar Weekend returns tonight from 10 with Adam Catcher and Carlton Cole. Straight after the final, Ali Pallet. I say 10. I think it's going to go on a lot later, the final tonight. But whenever it finishes, they will be on talkSPORT.
On to this afternoon's Hawksby and Jacobs show, and the fashion icon Paul Hawksby has a fresh wardrobe.
Talking of jumpers, you're wearing a very distinctive burnt orange. Very unusual.
Burnt orange is. I'm hoping Tottenham sign him as a goalkeeper.
Tremendous.
I think he's Eintracht Frankfurt's third choice goalkeeper. He's 62. Takes him even longer to get to ground than Fraser Forster, who's like your nan having a fall.
That's ridiculous.
Which one? Listen, ready?
What's the question?
Ready for this?
What?
Which one colour you'll never wear?
Well, you know I'm colourblind.
Why wouldn't you say which colour would you not wear?
No, Darren. I didn't write that. I'm colourblind.
Yeah.
So I thought my socks were red, but they're orange.
Yeah.
I thought my trousers were brown. Today they are
green.
So I mean, you're asking the wrong person that question. I'd probably wear every colour.
What's the worst piece of clothing you've ever received as a present?
It's not what I ever received. It's what I ever bought. Right. But the first, I don't know if you know this, the first money I ever earned in telly.
Yeah.
I bought myself a pair of Patrick Cox.
Yeah, big boy shoes then.
Right? Brown suede loafers, right?
Yeah.
They were all the rage. And I was living at home at the time. First money, I think I earned about £150. And I went out and got these brown suede Patrick Cox.
Yeah.
And I went home and I put them on. I said to my mum, look at them. And she went, ooh, red's a bit daring. And I went, what? And she went, red's and I went, yeah, but they're brown. She went, they're bright red. And I was like, oh my God.
Don't forget, Paul and Andy will be back at 1. Oh, sorry. Who's the best named footballer?
Darren Bent.
Thank you. Don't forget, Paul and Andy will be back at 1 on Monday.
Good work. Let's finish with our brand new sister station, talkSPORT Goals. Yeah, we joked about that to begin with. Here's a flashback to when the massive Wham fan, Jason Cundy, actually genuinely thought, hand on heart, he was speaking to the one and only Andrew Ridgeley.
I mean, I can't wait to. Can I just say the documentary is just brilliant. When did you come up with the idea to do this? Because there's been a lot of things. You've written a book recently as well. So when did you come up with the idea to do this Wham doc?
We haven't got him.
You idiots. Absolute idiots. Honestly. Absolute idiots.
Oh, we nicked that from when he was on Virgin.
Why'd you do it to me? That's terrible. You know what? It's terrible.
I'd been building up to the whole show, and then we played a soundboard. And I asked the first question to Andrew Ridgeley, and he answered it perfectly, and then Cundy asked that question, and he thought we were speaking to him. What would you do if we played the prank on you, pretended Denzel was on our show?
I think I'd probably know that you'd have no chance to get in Denzel, so I just wouldn't panic.
Okay. What's your favourite prank of all time? Did you like the one I played on you on the day before New Year's Eve?
Which one was that?
When you said to me off air, am I working tomorrow night?
Yeah,
no, you're safe. And then on air, you found out that you were.
That was a good one, but I nearly had my head spinning. I nearly lost it. So, yeah, it was funny, though.
That was amazing. Which talkSPORT presenter is the funniest to wind up?
O'Hara. He loses the plot, doesn't he?
He does, doesn't he?
Starts to get angry, really aggressive. Who else is there who gets angry? No Tan Dan is another one.
Oh, yeah. He's got no sense of humour.
I know he's not a presenter, but he has got no... If you say about Brentford, in that group...
He goes for it.
Yeah,
Have you seen the amount of time I've had to give him the yellow card, the virtual yellow card, and nearly chucked him out of the group? A reminder for all the best bits of talkSPORT. Every day you can download the talkSPORT Daily Podcast, and don't forget to also download the talkSPORT app, where you can swipe between talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2, and all of our other sister stations, so you never, ever miss a moment.
DAB, online, on the app, and on your smart speaker.
Football thrives in 2025.
talkSPORT. talkSPORT Sports Update with Trusted Trader. Find top-notch tradespeople in your area, all who pass the Trusted Trader 15-point assessment.
talkSPORT.
I'm Ben Fletcher. Good evening. Just hours ahead of his date with Destiny, Luke Littler has told talkSPORT how tonight's final differs from last year's.
I wouldn't say I felt nerves really, apart from obviously the first game. But when I'm playing so well, the crowd are there, and obviously the 180s and the doubles are going in, then you don't need to feel nervous, and then they'll just flow in.
17-year-old Littler takes on three-time world champion Michael van Gerwen for the Sid Waddell Trophy. How's referee Russ Bray feeling?
Probably going to be the very best final we've ever had. Ever.
You can hear the whole thing live on talkSPORT. United have triggered the option of an additional year for Harry Maguire. Ruben Amorim says the team is starving for leaders on the pitch, and the whole dressing room needs to do something about that.
If you want to be a top team, you have to be leaders. And we have that in the dressing room, but they have to step up, because we have a lot of young kids also. And this moment is really, really hard.
United manager says Amad Diallo is close to agreeing a new deal. Southampton have now brought Brazil under-23s defender Wellington to the club, with his contract at Sao Paulo now expired. The bottom of the Premier League Saints had agreed the deal in the summer. A Copa do Brasil winner in 2023, Wellington won last year's Super Copa do Brasil last year. There's more at talksport.com.
talkSPORT News.
The UK is bracing itself for heavy snow and ice over the weekend and travel disruption, and NHS bosses say it's very concerning that the amount of hospital patients with the flu has quadrupled. More from Sinead at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Sort your new tyres this winter at a time that suits you best, from the comfort of your home or work 7 days a week with our mobile tyre fitting service. Conditions apply.
Temperatures will drop below freezing overnight, so expect plenty of frost by the morning.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on your mobile and on your smart speaker.
talkSPORT Drive.
Hot-wheeling sport across the nation.
A tower of sporting power in the afternoon.
talkSPORT
Drive.
Hello, welcome back to Last Hour Drive on talkSPORT with me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, alongside. We are live at Ali Pali, ahead of the PDC World Darts Championship final with our friends at Village Hotels. Visit villagehotels.com. Still to come on the show, we'll be joined by comedy legend Michael McIntyre. He's here, although I've sent one more Billy to go and get him. That was 20 minutes ago, so I don't know where either of them are. Find out in just a moment. But before that, it's getting closer to what is set to be a spectacular World Darts Championship final. Will it be Littler or Michael van Gerwen?
This place is loud, it's hot, it's got quality darts on the stage. What more could you possibly want?
Going back in for 32 to get to his 7th World Darts final, and there it is. Michael van Gerwen makes light work of Chris Dobie in the end.
To do what you love to do the most in this part of the tournament is always nice. Up to the final now, and yeah, that feels amazing.
And in his first semi-final, Chris Dobie just found he could not live with the power of the green machine.
We're still so far away. It's still going to be, you have to keep finding your own battles, and that's the way how it is.
Tops for a second successive PDC World Final. And Luke Littler delivers a 6-1 demolition of Stephen Bunting.
Luke Littler, back-to-back World Finals. How does that sound?
Sounds incredible. Can't believe I've done it.
We are witnessing sporting brilliance. 17 years of age.
With Luke, it was brilliant. Yes, world number 4, Luke Littler faces world number 3, Michael van Gerwen, in what promised to be an absolute cracker. Littler has become, of course, the face of darts, and he's hoping to win his first world championship after losing in last year's final. Van Gerwen, however, is chasing his 4th world championship, last winning the Worlds way back in 2019 when I was just a little baby. Join us now to look ahead to the big one. Is talkSPORT Darts commentary team of Chris Mason to my left. Hello, Christopher.
Good evening.
And Paul Nicholson, who looks like he's just about to burglar someone's house. He's got the gloves on. It's Paul Nicholson. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Let's shake hands.
Good to see you too.
All thanks to our friends at Village Hotels.
WDC final build-up live from Ali Pally on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Rooms from as little as £49 in the Big Village sale. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
It's good to see you both.
And you?
Let's start with you, Paul, because you're to my right and you look like you could do more damage with those gloves onto my face than Chris could to Benny. I think this is a fascinating final. Before a dart was thrown this year or last year at Ali Pally, I looked at the draw and I thought, OK, we're not going to have Humphries against Littler. If they're going to meet, it's going to be in the last four. Who would I like one of those to meet in the final? And it was Van Gerwen. And I'm a Littler fan. He's a Humphries fan. So I've got the perfect final in my head. What do you make of the two finalists?
I think what we've seen from Michael van Gerwen is a really nice increase in output. I think there have been a lot of question marks about Michael, particularly from around February to September. But from that point on, he just started to find something. But in this tournament, even when the question marks were still around him, he's found some more levels. And now we've got to look at him as a real potent threat to win this title for the fourth time. But in his way, he's got someone who is just ridiculously impressive.
When you look at the two competitors, Van Gerwen and Luke Littler, from what you've seen of the tournament so far, who do you think still got more to go, like more gears, or do you think both of them are playing as well as they can?
Littler, I think. He's the one that's put in the averages. And when they've met, they've had some incredible games where Michael's averaged 110 and lost because Luke's produced 114 over a shorter race. But that's an example of the ceilings. And Michael's been pushed, and although he found another gear against Rids, he was fortunate. There was two sets in there he could have lost. He could have lost that one 6-2 had the doubles gone in, but could have, should have. But that just shows you how close it's been for him, where Luke came through that incredible match with Ryan Joyce, where he was pushed but never faced any kind of adversity where you thought, oh, he might lose here. And I just think, I'm with Nico, I think the output's been very good from both, but for me, Littler looks like the one that he's got another gear, and he has. That's just a fact.
Paul, styles can make finals. We've seen it, of course, many times in the past. I just wonder, we saw a match earlier on in the week. We talked about it earlier on, actually, when we saw Luke Humphries against Snakebite Wright, Peter Wright. And I thought because of what had happened off the hockey, it turned it into a dramatic game of darts, and it made it a little bit more tense than it perhaps could have been had they not had words. But I thought it got Peter Wright up for the game. And without that, it might not have happened. With these two, who do you think will benefit more from the other one being in the final?
It's a really interesting question. I think probably Luke is thinking, what a great opportunity to get my first World Championship against the greatest player of this generation. That will get him up for it. We talked, Chris and I, about the fact that he was playing against Aspinall, and we knew that he was going to play well because he wanted to play against Nathan on this stage. I think Michael, yesterday, he dropped a swear word in his interview, and I think that was on purpose.
What one? Remind us what one? Don't say it, I'm joking, don't say it. They have kittens over there. He nearly spat his pizza out. Look at Joe, look.
I think he dropped that on purpose to basically say to the world, don't forget about me. I'm in this final too. It's not just somebody else. So it's trying to hijack some of the social media activity. I think it was genius, personally. He might get fined for it by the Darts Regulation Authority, probably will, Chris, but I think it was perfectly timed, and it's just saying to everybody, don't forget about me, I've won this 3 times.
And he is very much like, we know Ronnie really well, Ronnie O'Sullivan, and Ronnie does things his way, and the fact that he didn't want to come down here today, and that geniuses just like to push boundaries, whether it be in this kind of environment or on the table or on the hockey, and that's Michael just sort of saying, go on, little boy, you go off and do that. They'll pull you from pillar to post. You go, I'm not doing it. You know, and again, he will get fined, no doubt, or he will receive some kind of punishment. But it's not that cold. I've been playing in here for Paddy Power 2 hours a day in this with no gloves on. But that's
Is that aimed at him, the goalkeeper?
Is there a situation, though, where on the flip side that Van Gerwen is so pumped up, even though he's been world champion 3 times, that he is doing things differently this year than he's done previously, that he is a little bit too pumped up for this game and then loses focus on what the objective is?
Absolutely, and you can do that. You've seen it from him in the past. It's interesting you say about Luke Humphries. Luke Humphries will be affected by it. If there's one element of his game, or maybe his personality or on stage, because he's a lovely guy, too nice. He needs to not... Peter Wright's a genius at playing the mind games. You know, he was around Taylor and spent a lot of time around Eric when he was still working within the sport, and he learned a lot about how you can just say the odd word here or there just to unsettle your opponent. And that's what he did with Luke Humphries. And Michael's trying to do that to Luke, but Luke's too young, he's too naive, he's fearless. You heard him. Did you feel any pressure? And what's pressure? because it's a completely, how he's grew up in the game, it's a different environment.
Yeah.
You know, there was too many outside influences within our sport during my generation that you could be affected by who you were playing, the prize money, what they said about you. He's ignorant to it.
We can actually look at Van Gerwen in a very different light if he wins tonight, because if you look at the career of Eric Bristow, he won his last World Championship in 1986. He was then in the final in 87, 89, 90 and 91. So he'd be in 4 more finals and would never win another. If you look at Taylor, he won his last one 2013 after winning in 2009 and 2010. He didn't win another one, but he was in 2 more finals against Gary Anderson and Rob Cross. So we're seeing a pattern there between Phil and Eric. Michael wants to break that cycle. If he can win tonight, he'll say, well, I've been in a few more finals since the last one, but I was able to break that.
Yeah, it was like all this talk about how many titles will he win. It's impossible to say. Taylor was a phenom. I think if you can win 5, 6 in this generation, it'd be incredible.
I agree. I mean, the calendar is so much busier now than it was back then, right? Than ever before.
But that can be a good thing because
but you can get burnout quicker.
But yeah, but they're not like us where we were travelling to America 10, 12 times a year just to chase ranking points.
Okay.
You know, for no money. I won back-to-back ranking events and got $3.5 grand combined. That just shows you the difference.
What did you spend it on? Fly home.
I would tell you what I spent it on, and I wasted the rest.
Okay. I think we can all guess. Old George Best over there. Listen, between the two, it's beautifully poised. It's 6-6.
Yep.
I fancy Littler, right? I really do. I think he's going to go all the way. It's going to be tough. I think, in fact, he's going to go to the final, not just set but leg. I think it's going to go all the way. I think it'll be a great fun. But my concern as a Littler fan will be that if Van Gerwen starts taking the lead and the gap gets bigger, I think that Van Gerwen can pull a lead back better and safer than perhaps Littler can. You know more about the game than I do. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point you've made, Andy, because looking at the research from the finals that Michael's been in, 6 of them, on 5 occasions he's taken the first set. So he's won 3. It's a 50-50 call as to whether the hot start will get him success. But I think if you look at last year's tournament, Littler did lose the first set, but was able to get the second. So I don't think you can panic in the first 2 or 3 sets. As long as you're competitive after 4, then we'll see where the momentum is.
And they met in a couple of finals last year, and no one really dominated. It was 8-6 for one of them and 8-5 in the other one. The one stat that I can't ignore, I like to do as much recent data.
I like this. This is
last
good.
60 days of competitive play for both.
Why have you chosen 60 days?
2 months is a period leading up to the most important time. This is when you should be peaking. This is the time of the year that you want to have it right. And 60 days is a close enough gap for me. If I was playing that period when I want to be peaking. 96.34 the average for Michael in that period. 104.47 for Littler. Now what that means is pretty much everything that Luke does is 5 throws, 15 darts and under. With an average of 96, Michael's needing that extra turn. Will he get that extra turn against Littler? I don't think he will, which is why I'm with you. I think Littler wins, and I think he wins 7-4, depending on who gets the throw. That 96 can beat 104, depending who's got the throw in that set.
But how many times has Littler lost in that period? Not very many.
Twice we worked
out.
Yeah,
twice.
Can I say he's done loads of homework? What, you turn up with nothing?
Listen,
you've got it all written down up there, right?
I'm older and did more bad things to my brain, so I have to write it down.
I've been living in the Matrix. I've been living in the Matrix the last 3 weeks.
You look like it.
Yeah, you do. I've got 2 tablets here, one blue, one red. Right, listen, I'll ask both of you, because our time is running out with you, and I know you're busy. A lot of prep coming up ahead of this, what I think is going to be a fascinating encounter.
Agreed.
Chris, I'll start with you. How do you see it going? Talk me through it.
I think there'll be some early exchanges where they just sort of trade sets and maybe holds the throw. And I think the first one to hit the afterburner will run away with it. I think it'll be Littler.
Okay, you said 7-4?
7 sets to 4, yeah.
I'm going to go Littler 7-6. I think we'll have our first 13-set game since 2015.
And we both think there's going to be a 9.
Oh, do you? A 9 and a 170?
Well, there was a 170 for both Littler and Humphreys in last year's final, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, just a quick word before I forget, actually. A lot of people are interested to know how the tournament has shaped up for the top 8 for the Premier League. When will that be announced? It's usually after, right?
Monday
afternoon.
4:30.
Okay, do you have any notes suggesting who it would be there, Chris?
I do.
All right, well, take your time. We're off at 7.
Yeah, you're all right. Both
you've got it written down?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, both Luke's. MVG Cross. Bunty's in.
Okay, that was the big one, right?
Yeah, Dobie's in. So that's 6. I think Price is in. and I think they'll look over Clayton, which I think is the wrong way around, but I get it, it's a commercial thing.
Yeah.
And then it's a choice of De Decker because he won a biggie this year, maybe Heta to have that element of having someone from Australia. And I think they'll leave Aspinall out this year. I think they'll give him a rest, yeah.
Okay.
I have to agree with Chris. I think Aspinall doesn't get in. I think Michael Smith knows he's not in because he's plummeted 15 places in the rankings. But that 8th spot is very much up for interpretation.
Okay, boys, listen, thank you so much for coming in. Chris, enjoy the rest of the evening. Paul, I know you've got a couple of houses to check on. But enjoy the final. That was all thanks to our friends at Village Hotels. Find rooms for as little as £49 in the big Village sale at villagehotels.com. When we come back, we'll be joined by the wonderful Michael McIntyre. Live on Drive on talkSPORT.
WDC Final Build-Up, live from Ali Pally on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Rooms from as little as £49 in the big Village sale. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
talkSPORT traffic. Essex, the M25 is blocked clockwise after a collision midway between junction 27 for the M11 and 28 for the A12. In Warwickshire, the M40 southbound is shut after a lorry caught fire between junction 16 at Henley and Arden and 15 for Warwick. And in Berkshire, the London-bound M4 is partly blocked after a collision. That's happened between junction 5 for Langley and junction 4B for the M25. I'm Adam Moore.
Monday night. Live Championship football on talkSPORT 2.
And it's gone straight in!
Triple filtered freeze-dried commentary. QPR versus Luton.
He's done it again!
Preemptive build-up as the bell strikes 7. Main event from 8 p.m.
In moments of magic!
Monday night.
On fan-fueled live football phenomenon.
talkSPORT 2.
You listen to Drive on talkSPORT. We're live from Ali Pally, ahead of the PDC World Darts Championship final. It's me, Andy Goldstein. Darren Bent is alongside me. I don't know what he's doing. He's just handed over the trophy.
That's the actual trophy.
Is it it's not the actual one, is it? Is it the actual one? Well, if we would have known that, we would have stolen it. And with our friends at Motorpoint, check out hundreds of nearly new Audis, BMWs, and Kias online and in-store now. Still to come, we'll hear Bentley's chat with Tottenham defender Jed Spence. That's ahead of our live and exclusive commentary of Spurs against Newcastle tomorrow at 12:30. Now I'm delighted to welcome it says here, a superstar.
What do you mean it says here? Like this isn't your own thoughts?
British comedy.
You wrote that.
Hello and good evening to Michael McIntyre.
Hi guys. Hi Andy. Hi Darren.
Lovely
It's
to
a
meet
pleasure.
you. How are you?
I love listening to the show. I think you're both excellent.
Oh, how nice
I
is
had
that?
no intention of being on this show today.
I know.
Andy, you actually invited me to see the darts.
Yes.
Which I thought
With
was
a catch.
Yeah, I didn't know the catch. You don't tell me the catch. Then he's texting me going, "Can you come at 6:15?" I'm like, "That's a bit early."
Well,
It's like,
what-
it's better to get in and get settled. Then last minute he puts a headset on me and I'm on the bloody radio.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
Are you all right? You good? It's good to see you.
Yes,
again.
I was listening on the way in, and you had a very good interview with Luke Littler.
Yeah.
I just felt like you should have let him go a little earlier because you know he has a game tonight.
What?
He would have kept
He's
it for
got to
longer.
focus.
17 minutes.
He should. It was. By the end, you were saying, "What did you have a nice Christmas? Were your potatoes fluffy enough?" You said, "What did you get for Christmas?"
No,
the
that's
guy's
his
got
question,
to
to be
win the
fair.
World Championship tonight.
Yeah. Is he going to win it?
Oi, oi, oi.
Is he?
Of course he's going to win it. He's exceptional. I've been following darts for 1 year.
I'm with you.
And I've decided,
I'm the same as you, 1 year.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. But
Yeah.
I've just heard that you've got the darts bug and play all night, every night.
Yeah, I'm rubbish.
But why have you, with yourself? Are you playing this game with yourself?
No, I play with my son, play with him for a little bit.
And just so the listeners can understand, every time you say the word play, you throw a fake dart. You throw an imaginary dart.
Yeah, I don't know why I
You've
do-
so
yeah,
got the
yeah,
bug.
I know, yeah.
It's contagious.
Yeah,
It
I don't know why I
literally
do that, but no, yeah. I've
So
got the
what's
bug.
your best score?
Well, you know what?
Look at Michael trying to talk darts to
Now,
you.
hang
Where's
on
your
a
best
second.
score?
I know all the yoki. I know all the words.
Okay.
Oki yoki.
Oi,
Check
oi,
out.
oi, yeah.
Check out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go on, tell him. Tell him about your checkout.
Check out.
Oh, I beat him today on stage.
45.
I sent you the text and I sent you the video.
Yeah, no, that was amazing.
That was-
You sent the video to everybody?
No,
Yeah, of course
just
he has.
special people.
Of course he has. Everyone's going to get the video.
Well-
It was exceptional.
Thank you.
So what's your best ever score, Benji?
3 darts, I think it's 1, 3.
Yeah, 3 darts. That's how we play.
No,
That's how you
1,
play. Yeah.
3, 6.
Dance rules.
On the Oki in there,
Okay.
treble 20. Treble 20.
Oh,
I'm
two
thinking
in a
the
row.
I think 180's coming. 1. Awful.
Every throw I ever play in darts, I get the same score pretty much. I get a 5, a 20, and a 1. And I get them in any order. If I start with the 1, the 5 goes in, you know the 20's
Yeah.
up next. I basically sort of scattergun.
It is
that zone.
tonight the first time that you've been to a proper dance match.
It's the first time I've been. There's so many firsts for me tonight. It's the first time I've been surrounded by this many men who are drunk. It's the first time.
By the way,
I've
you're
been
talking
to
about the talkSPORT people.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
okay.
the crew and the production staff of this show.
Yeah.
And your dear selves.
If only.
Yeah, I've never been to the darts, but obviously it's an experience.
Yeah.
It's already been an experience. Quite a hostile security outside.
Oh, was there?
Yes.
For you, because you've come, just yourself and your son are here tonight.
Yes, yes. Some people think I'm actually dressed as Michael McIntyre. One person thought that. One person thought that was my fancy dress. He was like, "Oh, look at this bloke! He's come as Michael McIntyre."
No, that didn't happen.
That genuinely
That's
happened.
amazing. Did you
So,
put on
yeah.
a totally different accent? So I look nothing like him, I'm afraid.
I said I've been working on it since birth. I've actually come as Kim Jong-un. How do you think it's going?
It's going all right.
So, outfit-wise, I mean, are you dressing up tonight?
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
In the VIP area,
Go
we're
on.
not allowed to wear fancy dress.
Oh.
So you better change that, McIntyre.
Is that true?
Yeah, you know, my mates found out the hard way about 3 years ago.
And they throw you out?
came dressed head to toe.
Oh.
And they were like, have you got jeans on under that? And they're like,
And
yeah.
what's the calibre of VIPs who are expecting tonight?
I've never
for
been
darts?
before. That's all in that.
It's annoyingly it's still great unwashed. But
Okay.
they've just got a few quid more. That's the
Okay.
only difference.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to
But
it.
do you know what? It is the friendliest place you will ever be.
Yeah.
Everyone here is just up for a good time. It's like being in a giant pub, but without the aggro.
Well, I've been practicing all my moves. One of them, which I believe is in answer to the question, stand up if you love the darts. I'll be
How's that gone for you?
I've been practicing.
Should we try it now?
So it's going to be this move. It's going to be and then arms out as wide as possible. Isn't it?
that.
A sort of lean back.
Yeah.
Stand up if you love the darts. I've been practicing all day.
That's been going well.
So that's thrilling. I'm really pleased that Littler beat Bunting. I was supporting him, but I do love Bunting.
Me too.
I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. The titanium, the ear flapping.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't
It's
it?
really... It's quite unique entertainment, darts.
You
So
know, you
I'm
said
all in.
you've been working on the moves.
Yes.
I know you're a Spurs fan, right? Correct?
Yes.
I've
You
been
have to bring the mood down.
No, but I've been hearing them in singing songs. How are you going to react when they start singing that song about Tottenham travel everywhere and something happens everywhere they go?
Oh,
I've been hearing that come through TV.
It's become remarkably accurate. The lyrics to that song. Yeah, it's quite hard to disagree with this statement. Looking on current form, not going well for Spurs at the moment.
No.
We've got a lot of players out, and I've just heard they're out like until the end of the month. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
We have no defense. Well, we have backup players.
Yeah, but no defenders.
Yeah, we've got Archie Gray is what, 18 years
18,
old?
yeah.
I mean, he's playing amazingly,
Yeah.
but he is a
Out
midfielder
of position, yeah.
who's 18 years old. So that's not ideal.
Oh, there you go. Look.
Hey! I speak their language.
See, we're roped off from them at the moment. Imagine when we get through there.
I've bought my own ropes. Come with me.
Are you a drinker?
Oh, absolutely I am.
Okay, so
But
you'll
I
be
fear that the drinks that I normally drink aren't for sale here. For example, I asked for a wine list.
Did you? When you walked in, waiter, get me the list.
I'd love a wine list.
Are you okay with a beer?
I haven't had a beer since I was about 17 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I don't really like beer. Is that? Can I say that
No, I'm
out
not
loud?
a big beer
Yeah.
fan. But tonight you just sort of, when in Rome.
Yeah, I know. Well, when in
When
Rome,
in Ali Pali.
when in Rome, I have a limoncello.
I can be honest.
Or a lovely Chianti.
There's quite a lot of lemons about, but that's probably where that ends. That sentence, annoyingly.
Yes, I'll have to find something to drink, and it should be an amazing night. And I really hope he wins because he interviewed very well.
Yeah, he
with you
did.
guys.
He did. Yeah. It's mad to think that it's only 12 months ago that he was here for the first time, right?
It's unbelievable. And nobody. Did you watch the documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't.
We're
watched
in
it
it.
yet.
We're in
Very,
it.
very.
We're in
in
it. Our voices are in it at the end.
Right, amazing.
I say something like, "Welcome to the final," and that's it.
I don't know. What do I say?
You went
2 words.
No, you say something like, "Yeah, it's going to be good." I think that's all you've got.
That's the only bit you've watched, though.
Yeah, it's good. You should watch it. There's a new one coming
Game
out
of
with
Thrones.
Eric Bristow,
Jockey Wilson.
and
Oh,
Phil
yes,
Taylor.
I saw that advertised.
That looks good as well.
Yeah, well, but dancers. It's amazing to have somebody who's exceptional. He's a prodigy, quite clearly, and and he gets in the zone. If you notice, his eyes sort of go, and his nose goes a bit. There's a bit of a twitch on, and he really hones in and almost pushes it exactly.
He knows his dance.
But that
does,
Van Gerwen, he's a
Van
threat.
Gerwen
He's
fella.
a threat. So, what's he like?
Well, hold on. Now, here's the thing. Before we talk about Van Gerwen, right,
Yeah.
we need to go to an ad break.
Oh,
now,
okay.
I know you well enough for you to go, I don't want to do any more radio, I'm done now.
Yes.
But if I
Yes.
let you go, you'll be mixing with them.
What are you saying? You're going to have to keep me on it? Oh my goodness! I've just seen them. So it turns out, I'll just
Because they've opened the doors.
I'll describe
Go on,
the
describe
scene.
what you can see.
I feel like I'm in the film Toy Story 2. There's a lot of Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, it's quite alarming.
It's like being at a Comic-Con, isn't it?
It's like being at a Comic-Con. I mean, look, these people at the best of times aren't in the best shape. But we're now post-Christmas.
Yeah.
It's quite an alarming sight.
Yeah.
And I'm going to join them. So, yeah, you're going to try and keep me on the radio.
Just for another 8 minutes.
Oh, God.
Is that all right?
Well, I don't know. We'll
Because
see.
I'll tell you what, because I want to talk to you about Michael Van Gerwen. I want to talk to you about you in the world of sport.
Yes.
All right?
okay.
I don't know if you're already good
I don't
at
know what Van Gerwen says. He's got braces and he's Dutch.
Yes,
It's a
and he
lethal
swears, he swore.
It's
Do
a
you see him?
lethal combination for communication.
And I want to talk to you about golf.
Yes.
All right, see? I've got you for another
Can't
10.
we do that off air? Why do we have to do that to everyone who drives a van?
Do you want... Look, you've just won your own ticket, right? You've got your ticket, that's safe.
I wish I could plug something now.
Have you not...
Not really. I finished my tour.
Have a think.
Okay.
And in 2.5 minutes, we'll find out what else you want to mention. All right? Because you've won your ticket for tonight's final. You haven't won your son's yet.
That's correct.
Okay?
Correct.
Find out if Michael
Correct
McIntyre has the ticket for his son Right after this, live on Drive on talkSPORT.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave. Online, on your mobile, on the app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.
talkSPORT News.
Good evening. With your headlines, I'm Sinead Garvan. 2 amber weather warnings are in place for large parts of the country this weekend, which means heavy snow and freezing rain. The Met Office say disruption on roads and railways is likely, as are power cuts. And we're being urged to check on elderly relatives and neighbours. Paul Farmer is the head of Age UK.
Our message to older people is don't hesitate to turn the heating up over the next few days. And if you are worried about the financial impact of that, then please do get in touch with us, because we understand that energy companies and others are ready to provide support and help.
Meanwhile, police are looking at whether icy conditions played a role in a crash that killed a 7-month-old boy. The car he was in collided with a tree on the A1 last night. Flu cases have quadrupled in England, with NHS bosses calling it very concerning. Nearly 5,000 people were in hospital with the virus on Sunday. Roy Lilly is a former NHS Trust chairman.
On top of the flu, we've had novavirus, we've had RSV, which is another respiratory virus, and of course we've still got COVID. So the NHS was already chock-a-block by about the second half of November, which is really very unusual.
And Donald Trump's making suggestions on the UK's fossil fuel policy. Get rid of windmills. He highlighted the case of an American oil producer pulling out of the North Sea because of policies the government has to replace fossil fuels with renewable energy.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you need a professional grade sealant with high mold resistance, easy tooling and minimal shrinkage, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
Ruben Amorim gives Harry Maguire another year and calls for his players to be leaders. And Luke Littler's told talkSPORT he knows what went wrong last year and intends to get off to a fast start tonight. You can hear the PDC World Finals live on talkSPORT.
Step up to the Oki for exclusive coverage of the PDC 2025 World Championship Final. Tonight from 7, live on talkSPORT.
That is something special! talkSPORT hits the bullseye with live and exclusive commentary direct from Alexandra Palace as the giants of world darts clash in pursuit of the Sid Waddell Trophy.
It's double two! The PDC 2025 World Championship Final. Tonight from 7, live on talkSPORT.
Welcome back to Drive on talkSPORT. We're live from Ali Pally ahead of the PDC World Darts Championship final with our friends at Village Hotels. Visit visithotels.com. Village Hotels, I should say, .com. Don't forget, of course, following us at 7, the wonderful Ian Danta and co. bring you live and exclusive commentary of that PDC World Darts Championship final between Luke Littler and Michael van Gerwen. Before the break, we were having a chat to British comic Michael McIntyre. We've got him for another 5 or 6 legendary.
Is that
you couldn't add legend in there?
British comic.
Well, you're a British comic, aren't you?
No, I know. It's
there you go.
Little bit of
what
a
would you like to be called?
Base level introduction.
It was. I wasn't happy with that.
No, I'll tell you what's
Do it again.
Okay. We're joined still by funny man Michael McIntyre. Do people still use that?
We should get the announcer to come out.
Here we are. You could do
London.
That.
He loves London. Alexandra Palace.
What would you
London.
What would you like to be introed as?
No, I don't mind. I just thought that was a bit
British funny man.
I'll take
all-round funny man.
It was terrible. I've seen you intro people that are nowhere near as funny or as famous as him.
No, you
better
gave,
than you
no, but
you gave Village Hotels more of a big up.
They paid a big bucks.
By the way, they sound amazing.
They are. Have you ever stayed at Village Hotel?
In a Village
they
Hotel?
Are unbelievable. Have you?
No, I know you're bigging them up because they pay.
No, they've already paid. I don't need to.
Oh, they've already paid?
Already paid. I don't need to.
No, I haven't.
You should go.
Who else sponsors the show? Can I get anything out of them?
I think that's it.
Was it some car people?
Motorpoint?
Motorpoint.
I don't know.
Wonderful.
I don't know. We can mention 2. I think they've crossed paths.
Oh,
have they?
They haven't paid enough.
No.
To
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to pick up a car from Motorpoint and head to a Village Hotel with funny man Michael McIntyre.
I once mentioned as a joke Lamborghini.
Oh, yes.
And got a free Lamborghini for a week.
Honestly, you're about to get fired. You carry on, you get fired.
For a week.
I did 2 weeks, actually.
That's
I won't
amazing.
mention them again.
Decent.
Shout out Ferrari.
Yeah.
Right, listen, let's talk about you and the world of golf.
Oh, yeah, golf.
Right, because you and I met when we played golf at James Madison's Golf Day, which, of course, we did our show on the back of it. How's your golf at the moment? What are you playing off?
Yeah. It's about the same. I always say 15. Yeah.
Okay.
What? Is that too good? No,
well, no, I'm just saying.
He's a bandit.
No, I'm not. He's played with me. He knows I'm not a bandit. I'm 18.
But something was wrong with me that day. There's always something wrong with me. I had an injury of sorts, didn't I? Oh, yes, I know what it was. It was my glute. Do you remember?
Oh, I do.
Because I've got an update on this.
Okay.
So I watched a TikTok video, which you don't ask for. It just pops up on the TikTok.
Right.
I'm new to it because I'm
the wrong
generation.
To you,
it listens to me.
Yeah.
So it gave me a video. Tommy Fleetwood, the golfer, apparently he's got a half swing, so it doesn't swing through. He checks it, right? So and that's how he gets his accuracy. So I went to the driving range, got myself 200 balls, and Tommy Fleetwood did every single ball, hit everyone straight, but I did my glute because I kept twisting and not stopping, and they ended up literally having cortisone injections.
I remember that day, you were in a lot of pain.
Yeah, I saw him recently, and I had a right old go. I mean, I've actually
I've
blamed him. It is his fault. So other than that, yeah, you know.
How is your golf now, though?
Well, I'm following through.
What, because you're nervous?
No, because of the Fleetwood glute injury.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So, you know, I love it. I'm not getting any better. Yeah.
Right, okay.
But you never do. You were pretty decent.
Up and down.
No,
Up and
don't.
down.
Oh, you just did. Every golfer does that.
No.
Every
I'm being
golfer
honest
does.
with you. There's some great shots. I remember the par 3.
Yes.
170 yards, bumped straight on.
No, you did. You actually
But that was about
did.
it. It was a highlight.
No. But people are always down about their golf game.
Yeah.
Didn't we finish bottom of that golf day?
Anyway, let's move on.
He finished bottom.
No, it wasn't bottom.
We weren't bottom.
No, we were. It's a we, see, collective, because we're a team.
We're in a team.
We're a team.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go in a minute.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited about tonight. We're going to have...
Okay, do you want to go back? We'll go back to
crazy-
the darts, right? What's going to happen, Michael McIntyre?
My prediction is an absolute classic. I think it's going to go down to the wire. Oh no, is that?
No, that's why. Yeah, why?
But hopefully the right. Oh my God! What are they?
They're shouting Darren Bent.
Is that? It's a huge moment.
They're your people.
No, they're your people.
I'm not sure to be near them, even this close.
That was an amazing moment. I want you to enjoy this.
And I hope they keep it like PG.
He hates this with a passion. There you go. He's out there with us tonight. He's out there.
It's going to be a huge night.
What's going to
Luke Littler, I think, will win. I think he's exceptional. I think he's totally in the zone. I think he's got this.
Okay.
Yeah. And I saw Van Gerwen wobbling a bit.
You think so?
Yesterday, even though he was plain sailing. You know, I think when Littler, he's got levels. He can go up a level. He turns it on. He gets a look in his eye. One nostril goes. Watch for that.
Okay.
When the nostril goes,
it's
in the 20. That's the tell. One nostril, just sort of a slight sort of a snarl on one side, little flaring.
Well, it's funny you say that. He's got a cold. He wouldn't come out for any interviews.
Okay, it might actually be a cold.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He's got hay fever.
He's got hay fever.
In December or January. Listen, I'm going to let you go. I don't know if that's good or bad, because that means you've got to walk through.
How quickly can you run?
I'm going to hide behind this mariachi band and get to the VIP.
That's part of our talkSPORT team.
Okay. Listen,
Are you going to do the pretend to be on your phone as you walk through?
Yes.
That's a really good plan.
Yeah. Actually, I might pretend to be on my new Apple Watch, like in Knight Rider.
Like in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Michael McIntyre,
Listen,
thank
it's
you.
been a pleasure.
Thank you.
I love both of you.
I love you. I'll see you in a minute.
We're going to have a great night tonight.
We will.
All right. Give us a wave. Give us a wave, Darren Bent.
I will do.
Give us a wave. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Round of applause for Michael McIntyre, please, everyone. Yes, the wonderful Michael McIntyre is going into the abyss now amongst... Oh, look at the noise, Benty.
I know, yeah, trust me. That could have gone horribly wrong, Matt, with this, but I was worried they were going to start screaming.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness they're done.
I'm glad it was you. Right, time now to look ahead to 3 of this weekend's fixtures in association with our friends at 3.
The Big Football Network on talkSPORT with 3. Football needs a big network. Keep connected to the team you love on 3.
Right, let's start off by talking about Arsenal once again. Benty, reports have suggested that Matthias Cunha could be on the radar for a potential January move. Is that someone that can improve Arsenal and help them get over the line, do you think, this season?
Well, he's certainly a good player. I mean, he's been brilliant for Wolves in a season which has been really disappointing for them. He's been one that's kind of not let his standards slip. I know he's had the situation at Ipswich as well, and he got the suspension, by the way, only 2 games for that. I don't know how he only gets 2 games, and one's an FA Cup game, so Wolves must be thanking their lucky stars. But 10 goals and 4 assists this season in 19 games for a team that's down there. That's phenomenal.
Yeah,
he's their best player. If Arsenal can get it, I'd be all for Arsenal getting him. Where does he fit in? You'd have to find a place for him at some point. He doesn't start. Maybe with it, Saka being out, maybe coming off the left, he can. But just having that level of player in the squad you can call upon would be superb.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but if Arsenal win on Saturday, you're going to be 2 points better off than you were this time last season.
Yeah, I knew that.
That's a surprise. You didn't know that?
How much about I knew that?
Okay, all right. How do you know that? Okay, fine, yeah. Good show, by the way.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about your season so far? Because there's a lot of, not doom and gloom, but that's quite a positive number, isn't it?
Do you know what it is? It's almost like as well, I don't think Arsenal played as well as they did last season, the free-flowing football, but they've just been more effective. Like the set plays have been massive. They've managed to beat teams, pick up points when maybe they shouldn't have done. But honestly, I just think if you can keep in touch with Liverpool and add bodies as well, I think that'd be superb for us. Considering where people have kind of said they're not playing as well, I think it'd be brilliant.
Okay, a quick word about Brighton on a bit of a sticky patch at the moment. What do you make of that? What's the reason? What do you make of their season so far?
Do you know what it is? We expect so much from them because of the start they made. I mean, Fabian Hurtsler, what a job he's doing down there.
Yeah, brilliant.
They've got off to such a good start that people expect it to continue, and that's never the case. But they've got to somehow get out of this rut. They're better than that. The result against Palace didn't do them any favours, local derby, getting beat. But they've got more than enough quality and more than enough experience to get themselves out of this situation, for sure.
Okay, let's move on to Fulham. They face Ipswich this weekend following their 2-0 win against Chelsea. Ipswich are only a point now off climbing out of the bottom 3. I know you're a big fan of Liam Delap. Is he a striker? Well, I know he's a highly rated striker, actually. Could he be the guy that either moves to a bigger club in January? How important?
Why would he move to a bigger club in January for?
Well, you talked about Isak leaving Newcastle to go to Arsenal.
In January?
Yeah.
Nah, Ipswich are not letting him go now, are they?
Oh, look, I've never seen you don't act like this with any other. It's, honestly, it's so biased.
Listen, why are you talking about? I don't see January written on that page anywhere.
I'm allowed to ad lib.
No,
that's the beauty of being
that's the problem.
a very well respected journalist.
And I didn't see January anywhere.
Do you think Liam Delatt would leave Ipswich and go to a proper club?
Exactly.
Okay. How important is it that they hang on to him?
They will do. From now to the end of the season, they will. But I just think to lose him now would be absolutely crazy. They're not going to sell him. It'd be a lot of money. He could play for England.
Who's written these questions? I'm going to read them out to you, all right? I'll read them. You don't have to answer. Question number 2, written by Joe, the Ipswich Town season ticket holder. What have you made of Ipswich in recent weeks? Does Kieran McKenna deserve praise for changing the system in the team? Next question. Is Kieran McKenna now a top 3 manager in the league?
It's close.
Do you mean bottom 3?
I think it's close.
Will Ipswich win the league in the next 2 seasons? Championship, they might.
Serious question.
No, shut up. No, the answer is no. I don't want him at United.
No, I'm not going to say that. In recent times, though, since he got there, who's done a better job, Amorim or McKenna?
What do you mean? He's only been there 5 minutes.
Okay, in the 5 minutes that he's been there, who's done better?
Who's higher in the league?
Who's done better? That's the question. Okay, one's fighting. Oh, sorry, both are fighting relegation.
Benny, let's talk about one of your former sides, Sunderland.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
I reckon I can get him to sing louder. Louder. There you go. I don't know how we're going to get out of this room alive. I really don't. Let's talk about your former side, Sunderland. They've slipped to 4th in the Championship. However, they did close the gap at the top to 3 points. That was after a big old win against, what was it, Sheffield United on New Year's Day. Portsmouth is the side they face. They are outside the relegation zone by a point, despite being winless in 5. It's a big game, that, isn't it? It really is a big game. Next game in the league after that is Burnley away. How big of a statement would it be to pick up 3 points at Turf Moor?
I mean, it'd be huge, massive. I mean, it's difficult. Don't get me wrong, though, because Burnley will be difficult, but you need to go into that game against Portsmouth with a bit of confidence. Now, Portsmouth are fighting for their lives, 4th from bottom. Sunderland got that really impressive win against Sheffield United. I know Sheffield United are maybe in a bit of a sticky patch, but for Sunderland to go past Portsmouth and then play Burnley, the one thing about Burnley which makes it incredibly difficult is that they don't concede any goals. That's their specialty. They concede less goals than anybody. But you've got to believe, and I think if they do that, I think they've got a great chance of going and getting themselves in that playoffs for sure.
Good work. That was all thanks to our friends at 3.
The Big Football Network on talkSPORT with 3. Football needs a big network. Keep connected to the team you love on 3.
Just one section left of our show. When we come back, we'll remind ourselves what happened when we caught up with Luke Littler, and then we will hand over to the build-up to live commentary of this year's PDC World Darts Championship final, as Luke Littler will be taken to the stage against Michael van Gerwen.
talkSPORT traffic.
Warwickshire, the M40 is closed southbound after a lorry caught fire earlier. The M40 shut from junction 16 at Henley and Arden to junction 15 for Warwick. In Lincolnshire at Grantham, the A1 is shut southbound after a collision between the A52 turn-off and the Grantham South exit. And in Manchester, the M60 is queuing clockwise. 2 lanes shut there after a collision just by junction 15 for the M61. I'm Adam Moore.
Tomorrow, game day is go.
A goal to savour!
Exclusive full match commentary of Spurs versus Newcastle. Coverage from 11, kick-off 12:30 on talkSPORT.
Welcome back to Drive Time, live from Ali Pali, ahead of the PDC World Darts Championship final. It's me, Andy Goldstein Darren Bent, alongside. And Motor Points got actually got a nearly new car, the warranty, same day drive away and saving thousands of pounds. Following us at 7, you can hear live commentary of the PDC World Darts Championship final between Luke Littler and Michael van Gerwen, our team of Ian Danter, Mark Wilson, Paul Nicholson and Chris Mason will take and talk you through all the action. In fact, just quickly, a bit earlier on, Bentley caught up with Spurs fullback Jed Spence, who's back available for their game against Newcastle tomorrow. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT.
How does it feel to be finally settled? Because I know it's tough when you've got loans here, loans there, and you're not really settling anywhere. Do you feel now for the first time in a while, you'd have to say that you're now settled, you're playing in the team, and you feel kind of like at ease of where you are at the minute?
Yeah, it's never easy when you're not settled, you know. You never know if you got to move home, you got to move country and stuff, so it's never easy as a footballer. But in terms of now, yeah, you can say I feel a bit settled.
A lot of people have spoke about, obviously, Ange's style and the way that he plays and the way he wants his teams to play. What's it like for you personally, playing under this kind of Ange system?
Yeah, I enjoy it, to be honest. You know, it's exciting football, it's attacking football. And, yeah, I think the boys love it as well, so I think it's good. Yeah.
From an energy perspective as well, because when I watch Spurs as a neutral, it's 100 miles an hour, everyone flies forward, it's obviously full press, people running everywhere. Is it different, completely different to any other system that you've had before, for any other manager?
Yeah, it's different. I mean, you got to have a lot of energy. It's a different style of play, but I think it's a style of play that can win you games and can win you something.
I'm guessing with Ange in the squad, I know obviously you've had a few tough results of late and that happens, the inconsistencies, but what is the aim for Spurs this season? Is it to try and get back into them European places? I mean, is it win a trophy? What is it?
I think we just got to take everything step by step, and I think that's just to win games, and when you win games, you're going to get in that Europe position or win a trophy or, you know, win the league, qualify for Champions League. So I think our main focus is just to win games and let the rest take care of itself.
To be fair, not a lot's been made of the situation at Spurs with the injuries. I mean, you've got a lot of players out compared to other teams. I mean, how has that been for those players and also for yourselves personally as in teammates?
Yeah, all the boys are pretty close. I mean, it's not nice having injuries, it's difficult having injuries. But yeah, the team's together and, you know, we'll push through this period. Tough
game coming up, Newcastle. They are a team that's in form, playing really, really well. I guess, what are you expecting from that game? And do you think that maybe by getting a result against Newcastle, this might kickstart your guys' season again to start getting positive results? Yeah, definitely. Hopefully Saturday we go and get the win and, yeah, hopefully build up a good run of games of winning and creating a good form for us. And, yeah, just kick on from then, really.
A reminder, of course, you can hear live and exclusive commentary of Tottenham against Newcastle tomorrow lunchtime on talkSPORT. And we'll see how Spurs get on against Newcastle tomorrow. But tonight, it's all about darts, of course. It's getting louder and louder inside Ali Pali, which is where we are. But Will it be Luke Littler lifting his first world title, or Michael van Gerwen making it number 4? It's set to be an absolute cracker. And earlier on in today's show, Luke the Nuke Littler spoke to me and Benty and discussed his 2024 so far. Let's have a listen, all thanks to our friends at Village Hotels.
WDC Final Build-Up, live from Ali Pally on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Rooms from as little as £49 in the Big Village sale. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
The main thing is getting past that first game against Ryan Meikle, probably the biggest game I've ever played. But ever since, I've relaxed, settled myself and not put any pressure on myself, and it's all gone well so far.
You look like, apart from that game, which was incredibly emotional for you, we saw that at the end, you look like you're enjoying it. We saw that last night. It was relatively comfortable, that win in the end. But you look like you're enjoying it. Are there any nerves for you when you're up on that stage?
I wouldn't say I felt nerves, really, apart from, obviously, the first game. But when I'm playing so well, the crowd are there, and obviously the 180s and the doubles are going in, then you don't need to feel nervous, and then they'll just flow in.
When you look at the year you've had this year, I mean, it's been absolutely exceptional up until this point. And then you compare it to last year, where he's relatively unknown, but he still played really well to get to that final. Do you feel that confidence now starting to flow? Because when you're throwing the darts, you look like you can hit exactly what you want.
Yeah, obviously Michael, he's been here numerous times. It's his 7th final tonight, and it's my 2nd. I've been here before. I know what the occasion's like, and I know what went wrong last year. Maybe very different tonight. But for myself, just got off to a quick start.
I don't know if you remember, you spoke to me and Bentley about a month ago. You were in the car with your mates, do you remember?
Yeah.
I asked you a question, I'll ask you the same one now. I said, you've had a great year. I've got it written down in front of me. You've won the Premier League, the World Series, Grand Slam of Darts, the 3 Players' Championships. You've won 2 Masters, one out in Poland, one out in Bahrain as well. And I said to you, would you swap all of that to become world champion? You said no. If I asked you that question now you're in the final, what would your answer be?
No.
You still keep that great year?
Yeah.
Because it's coming, right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I'll try for 20, 30 years, and if I don't, then I won't be happy.
20, 30 years.
I think in 10 or 20 or 30 years, he would have won at least one.
I'd be 92. You'd be 92 then, isn't it?
I would be 92. I feel 92 at the moment. That was all thanks to our friends at Village Hotels. Find rooms for as little as £49 in the Big Village sale at villagehotels.com.
WDC Final Build-Up, live from Ali Pally on talkSPORT with Village Hotels. Rooms from as little as £49 in the Big Village sale. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
That is nearly all we got time for, Darren Bent. And the amount of people that are chatting, it looks like our life could be over in about 20 seconds.
Nah, it's all good
No,
fun.
they're all fine.
Derby fans. Derby fans.
Okay. See, usually what happens, people can't see this, people walk about with pints of beer. They've got jugs of beer here.
Jugs,
Everyone's got a jug of beer. Listen, our time is done. We're going to go and relax now and get a beer ourselves. Before we do that, how do you see it going? What was the score? But it's all live on talkSPORT tonight.
7-4, I think, to Littler. I just can't see how you stop that scoring power that he's got once he puts his foot down. And he looked completely different now this time.
He does.
Last year he looked a bit nervous. I said to you, I think Humphries has got this. He just looks so comfortable
Okay,
now.
you're going Littler?
I'm going Littler.
I'm going Littler as well. Stay with us because build up to the final of the 2025 PDC World Dart Championships.